into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Hey, good morning. You've made it. Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I'm actually talking about Zoe.
You just missed the most epic sprints across studio ever.
I was in wardrobe, but I'm like, I have to go.
You were like a superhero with your cape, just flying in here. It's amazing,
The results
man.
are spectacular.
Put it
Oh,
there.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning
to you at
man.
home as well. Thank you very
Morning,
much for tuning in.
sister.
It's a Monday. It's a very special Monday. Can I just start off with saying
Please,
my
man.
boy, my eldest boy, I can't believe it. The boy that we announced that we were pregnant on this show is turning 6 years old today.
How is that even
ridiculous.
possible?
Here's my boy. I doubt you're awake, but happy birthday,
Happy
man.
birthday, sweet boy. Oh,
Are you stronger than
believe it?
Dad yet? I have a feeling you might be stronger than Dad.
Yeah, he gives me a good run for my money already, man. I have to train to make sure that I keep up with him. No, he's brilliant, man. I can't believe it. So we had a party for him yesterday, and it was just too special. So today's his official birthday.
Oh, man. Well, we love you, young man. Happy, happy birthday. Well, to celebrate this side of our studio, of course, we've got a fantastic lineup. As always, we bring you the superstars. They don't get much cooler than the man who is joining us this morning, Grammy nominated. He is a legend. He is so inspiring and such an amazing human being as well. Jonathan Butler is here. Good morning, sir.
Yes.
good morning. And then, of course, hip-hop sensation JR has a really cool collaboration celebrating 10 good years in the industry and, of course, got a brand new music video and album to boot. So we'll be connecting with him a little later in the show.
Absolutely. And then we're also going to have a bit of a hard-hitting conversation in our relationship talks this morning. Of course, last week we also had deep conversations around coming out. We had Craig Lucas on the show as well, sharing his journey and why that was so important for him to do it. But now we're focusing it on if it's your loved one wanting to come out. And also, this is following last week. I didn't know that Thursday and Friday were commemorated as the Coming Out Day, a day to start those conversations. And it's all about support. It really is about support.
Yeah, love that.
Definitely. And then today, you know, every single day there is a day for something. Today is Global Hand Washing Day, and Tapiso is in Johannesburg for a very exciting event. We will be connecting with him live a little bit later, but in case you didn't know, today is indeed Global Hand Washing Day.
Is it weird that that makes me quite excited? It
is weird.
It is a little bit weird, but I love it. Embrace it, man. Go and get those piles of laundry and start washing now. It's going to be a fantastic start to your week, so thank you so much for joining us. Let's get you fully prepped, though, with those global news headlines. Lee?
Good morning, team, and good morning to you at home. Here is what your news is looking like. President Cyril Ramaphosa handed over more than 4,000 hectares of land at the Kwa Mkwanazi community in Mpangeni in northern KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. He also handed over the title deeds of both the land the Mkwanazi residents have held since 2002 and the land that was restored yesterday. He commended companies that have leased agreements on the Mkwanazi land and who will provide bursaries for local students studying in areas relevant to the forestry sector. The Minister of Energy, Jeff Radebe, will head up the panel involved in selecting the new National Director of Public Prosecutions, known as the NDPP, the presidency announced yesterday. While the panel will make recommendations, the Constitution prescribes that it is ultimately only the president who can decide who to appoint as NDPP. Ramaphosa has now invited a number of legal organizations and independent public institutions to assist in identifying possible candidates. Earlier this year, the Constitutional Court ruled that the appointment of Sean Abrams as National Prosecuting Authority head was unconstitutional and invalid. Now, moving further abroad, 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged over alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games, the country's chief prosecutor has said. Those accused include ex-sports minister Hassan Wario and former Olympic Committee head Kip Keino, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Chief Prosecutor Noordin Haji has said that must turn themselves in by today. More than $564,000 meant for athletes was allegedly siphoned off. Haji said the impact of corruption and siphoning off of funds meant for the facilitation of sportsmen and women have a negative impact on their ability to perform optimally. And finally, Britain and the US are considering boycotting a major international conference in Saudi Arabia after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Now, Khashoggi, a critic of the Saudi government, vanished on the 2nd of October after visiting its consulate in Istanbul. The authorities in Istanbul believe that he was murdered by Saudi agents, claims Riyadh has dismissed as lies. Several sponsors and media groups have decided to pull out of this month's investment conference in Riyadh as a result of concerns over Khashoggi's fate. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Graham Richards has the details.
Let's kick it off with international soccer. Bafana moved to the top of Group E in the AFCON qualifying campaign and did it in style thanks to a 6-0 drubbing of Seychelles in Soweto on Saturday. Tulani, Hlatshwayo, Percy Tau, Dino and Glover all finding the back of the net to guide Bafana to their biggest ever victory. Other AFCON qualifying results: Nigeria put 4 past Libya to go second of the group. Egypt down Swaziland 4-1, while Senegal beat the Sudan by 3-0. Staying with football, 2010 World Cup winners Germany are still in search of their first victory in the UEFA Nations League as they suffered a crushing 3-0 loss to the Netherlands on Saturday. Jorginho Wijnaldum's 93rd minute goal put the finishing touch on his side's very impressive performance. Of the goals from Virgil van Dijk and Memphis Depay put the Dutch in charge. In other results, England and Croatia's clash finished goalless. Belgium edged out Switzerland 2-1, while Italy beat Poland 1-0. And in cricket, the Proteas completed a 2-0 series win over Zimbabwe. That was after yesterday's third test in Benoni was abandoned due to rain. While a ball couldn't be bowled yesterday, South Africa had already secured the series victory on Friday thanks to a 6-wicket win in that second T20 in Poch. Proteas' next challenge will start on the 4th of November as they take on Australia in a 3-match ODI series. And then plenty of rugby action as well, albeit weather affected. The final group stage round of the 2018 Currie Cup took place this weekend, and it's all province. The Sharks, Lions and Bulls all moved through to the semi-finals. Western Province securing top of the log and home semi-final after their clash with the Bulls was called off at half-time due to rain, the score sitting at 34-7 to Province. Also in action, the Sharks beat the Griquas 41-11, while the Lions overcame the Pumas by 33 points to 21 to earn their spot. We'll expand on all of those sporting headlines a little bit more in our weekend review in just a moment.
Right, let's quickly take a first look at what you can expect from your weather going into your Monday. Before we do so, we've asked you to send in some of your pictures showing us what it looks like in your parts of the world. Thank you very much for taking the time. Remember, you can take your pictures. We'd love to see what it looks like, maybe a sunrise, and post them on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. Carol van der Merwe, good morning, Carol. You did this exactly. Sent us a gorgeous sunrise this morning from Umhlanga. Thank you very much. You can expect a low of 16 and a high of 24 with mostly sunny conditions. Carol, it looks like a beautiful way to wake up this morning. Appreciate your picture. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a gorgeous day going ahead. Right now, let's get into your temperatures. Polokwane 14 minimum, reaching a high of 31 degrees. Mbombela 16.34, Pretoria 13.28, Johannesburg 10.25, Maikeng 11.29, Klerksdorp 9.27, Kimberley 8 and a high of 27 degrees, Bloemfontein 5.25, Richards Bay 17.26, Pietermaritzburg 14.24, Durban 19.24, Mthatha 11 minimum, reaching a high of 21, East London 14.22, Cradock 8 and a high of 24, Port Elizabeth 14.21, George 12 and a high of 19 degrees, Sutherland 4 minimum this morning, reaching a high of 18, Cape Town 12.20, Worcester 8 and a high of 22, Springbok 8.22 as well, and Uppington starting off on 11, reaching a high of 28 degrees. That wraps up your weather and your temperatures for the 6 o'clock bulletin. We'll keep you updated throughout the course of your Monday morning. I'll be back just after 6:30 with another look at your weather as well as the first look at your roads.
Well, we live in a world that is constantly changing, and life just seems to be getting so much faster by the day. So as we welcome today, the 15th of October, we're going to take a look at what happened in history on this very day.
And we are rewinding the clock all the way back to 2001 when the hit Superman Origins series Smallville premiered. Now, this series paved the way for the current slew of DC comic series that dominates television today. And I mean, I love Clark Kent.
Somebody say. Yeah. Love that song. Well, also in 1985 rather, on this day, Australian swimmer Shelley Taylor Smith made the fastest swim ever around Manhattan Island, completing the swim in just 6 hours, 12 minutes and 29 seconds.
Very incredible. And also on this day, just last year, when actress Alicia Milano tweeted, "If you've been sexually harassed or assaulted, write me too," and prompted a flood of replies across Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, kickstarting that whole Me Too movement online.
Exactly. Well, that is our bite-sized dose of what happened on this day in history. Seize the day and make it one for the books.
Right. So, do you want to clear your throat? Sorry, man. It's early on a Monday morning, man. Leave me alone. It's okay. Listen, thank you very much for tuning in. It's a feel-good Monday. It really is.
Oh, it really is. When you're beating Team 6-0, it is very feel-good. Of course, Bafana, they are clicking at the moment. Just about every player on the field scored a goal against the Seychelles, and I say that with all due respect. But we now sit at top of our group in our AFCON qualifiers. We'll take you through some of the highlights, and there were many.
Can't wait for that. And then, of course, we're going to get to know our stellar performer this morning. Man, we are so lucky to have this guy,
Really
Jonathan Butler, this morning. If you don't know that name, I don't know where you've been, but we are going to introduce him to you a little bit later on. Stick around after the break.
Voted best courier in South Africa for over 10 years, at Globe Flight, our approach is to simply keep our word. When the quality of our courier service was certified ISO 9001 compliant, it only confirmed what Globe Flight customers already know, that from domestic same day to international air freight, Globe Flight delivers smiles 24/7, 365.
Am I in the next thing after the break?
4, 3, 2.
Right, let's quickly take a look at your news headlines on your Feel Good Breakfast show for the Africa channel. It's your Monday morning. The number of people killed in twin suicide bomb attacks on 2 restaurants in Somalia's southern city of Baidoa has risen to 20, and another 40 people were injured. 2 suicide bombers blew themselves up in restaurants in Baidoa in the early evening on Saturday. Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying the restaurants were frequented by government troops. The attacks followed a U.S. airstrike on Friday against Al-Shabaab militants in Haradere, a district in the Galmudug region. And Rwanda's Foreign Minister Louise Mushikiwabo has been elected as Secretary General of La Francophonie, an organization of French-speaking nations similar to the Commonwealth. Mushikiwabo had the backing of the African Union and France in her bid for the job. Rwanda, under the presidency of Paul Kagame, has turned away from speaking French in favor of English and has not always enjoyed good relations with France. The 2 nations fell out after a French judge said President Paul Kagame had helped spark the 1994 genocide, and Rwanda accused France of arming the Hutu militias. And 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged of alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games, the country's chief prosecutor has said. Those accused include ex-sports minister Hassan Wario and former Olympic Committee head Kip Keino, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Chief prosecutor Nurdin Haji said they must turn themselves in by today. More than $546,000 meant for the athletes was allegedly siphoned off. Haji said the impact of corruption and siphoning off of funds meant for the facilitation of sportsmen and women have had a negative impact on their ability to perform optimally. And that's where we leave you news headlines on your Feel Good Breakfast show for the Africa channel.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast show.
Well, welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso on SABC3. We're now connecting with you on the socials, heading over to Facebook. Myself and Kat giving a big thumbs up for Bafana, who had that great win over the Seychelles. And of course, we're connecting with you, asking you, did you watch the game this weekend on SABC3? Thomas says, yes, I did watch the game and they were marvelous. Bongi Nkosi says, good morning, fam. Finally, yes, I watched the match. What a splendid match. Tsepo also says, yes, I watched the game and they played well. Zama also echoing, saying they did a great job in winning. So there we go. Thank you to each and everyone that commented. Even Nathan says, wow, firstly, okay, he says, no, he didn't watch the game, but he's still a proud South African. So thank you for that comment. But of course, you can always connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And use that hashtag Expresso Show.
All right, it's a Monday and it's a win for everyone this Monday morning. We are very happy. Our national cricket and soccer teams, they did phenomenally well this weekend, and that's our reason for smiling into this brand new week. Graham, how are you feeling? First
you get a goal, you get a goal, you get a goal. Everybody gets a goal. Bafana looking incredibly strong. We wanted them to return to that kind of the synchronicity that we saw against Nigeria, beating them 2-0, up against the Seychelles. The Pirates, not the strongest team, certainly in the competition. And we showed an incredible class. A couple of near misses. I mean, the amount of shots on goal, Percy Tau was absolutely superb for me. But let's take you through the goals. Of course, unfortunately opened by Nigel Rao, an own goal, but that kind of let the floodgates open to Tani Satswao, Lebo Motiba on debut for Bafana as well, now based in France. Percy Tau now based in Belgium, also got on Dino Ndlovu and Tebogo Mokoena all scoring. But there must have been about 16, 17 shots on goal, 8 on target, and that's what we want. So we get to play the Seychelles again, and it'll be a good mark to see if that cohesion is still there, if we can still run the same kind of lines, huge amount of pace around the wings, which we love to see, that counter-attacking style of football, but also being able to hold possession and dominate. So they really did show a full bag of tricks. Absolutely love it. Going through the full run of results, of course, we were aided by the fact that Nigeria beat Libya 4-0, so Nigeria go second of our group. Kenya looking very strong this year, beating Ethiopia. Senegal, we expected a win over the Sudan. And, of course, I think definitely standing out there, South Africa have put their hands up for this AFCON tournament. Traditionally, this is a happy hunting ground for us, and hopefully we see ourselves rising through the
It's nice to see that they showed up and they played as a team. And like you said, rightly said, I mean, just going into the games coming up following them, it would be nice to see if they can continue that momentum, which is what we would like.
But for Stuart Baxter to be in a position now where he can start testing out the new guys, obviously a couple of injuries forcing him to bring people in, and it worked. Every player knew exactly what they had to do. Percy Tau, for me, is probably the most informed player in the country at the moment and is just looking superb, but it was absolutely amazing.
It seems that things have been quietly happening. You know, nobody really knew up until, the moment they stepped on the field against the Seychelles, and all of a sudden you saw a team, that played together, and that was quite interesting because, I mean, for the longest time you didn't really hear about things going on. Yeah, man, and you don't want to, against a team like the Seychelles, you don't want to have too much smack talk before a match in case something goes horribly wrong and then you've been bested by the 189th ranked team in the world. But they're showing some class at the moment. And speaking of which, obviously the final T20 against Zimbabwe, visiting Zimbabwe, was rained out sadly, but we had already wrapped up the T20 series in Potch at Senvest Park, beating them by 6 wickets with 26 balls to spare. So Zimbabwe, not the best batting effort. They have showed a lot of improvement, and for them it's so important for them to have the opportunity to come up against the best, albeit we got an opportunity to test kind of those fringe players, start building our base for the bigger T20 tournaments. So much is happening in that arena for South African players to not only obviously build their salaries and build their profiles on the international stage, but there's a lot of international competition, so it's great to be able to test the depth of our squad. But just to take you through the bowlers that scored big on the night, Lungi and Gidi, Dane Peterson, who was man of the match. Robert Freyling took 2 apiece, and we just needed 15.4 overs to get that 135. JP Durmini finishing on 33 of 26 balls. Quinton de Kock has been phenomenal behind
behind the wickets, also weighed in with the bat, but he really has put his hand up now, and I think he's starting to find a balance between these wicket-keeping duties and still being that explosive batsman that we need. So the series done and dusted, man.
Can we just give a round of applause to our players?
Thank you.
Well done, man. Well done.
And then just very quickly, obviously, a high-stakes rugby Currie Cup, an opportunity for 2 teams to finally book their place in the last 4 for the semi-finals. The Pumas going down to the Lions, so they in. The Sharks dominating the Griquas. They'll be welcoming the Lions to a home semi-final. The Bulls going down to Western Province in a half a match because of the rain, and it got hectic. Okay, before anyone judges them for calling off a game of rugby in the rain, you literally couldn't see it for watching it, so I'm glad that they did do that. But it means that we're going to see the Sharks versus Lions, Western Province hosting the Bulls, and then, of course, just the big win, the Netherlands beating Germany in the UEFA Nations League. Germany still without a win in the competition. Their form from the World Cup seems to be carrying on, so crazy, but what a weekend, man.
What a weekend, Graham. Thank you very much. That's a roundup of your weekend sports right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, it's about to get a lot more exciting right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, because shopping has never been easier than with a brand new loot.co.za app and with Expresso this morning, where we are giving you the opportunity to win big prizes. Now, from tomorrow, we will be giving 3 viewers the chance to let us spin the wheel for them with the new loot.co.za app. And this is all you have to do. All you have to do is download the loot.co.za app, screen grab the app on your phone, WhatsApp the picture to 071-640-6551, and you could win. And then remember to also register on the app itself too. So we'll be spinning this wheel for 3 lucky winners, but here are some of the amazing prizes that you could stand a chance to win. How about this? A Sennheiser headphones valued at 2,705 Rand. We've also got a DeLonghi toaster valued at 2,799 Rand. A generator valued at 1,500 Rand. Nescafe Dolce Gusto coffee machine valued at 1,999 Rand. There's a ceiling fan valued at 2,000 Rand. Alva Kalahari gas barbecue valued at 5,999 Rand. A DeLonghi kettle valued at 1,404 Rand, and then a Kenwood Pure Juice Pro valued at 5,599 Rand. How absolutely amazing is that? Definitely worth playing for. So get involved. Make sure you follow those steps by downloading the app, taking a screen grab, sending it to 071-640-6551. And of course, you could win. Remember to register as well, and you could be walking away with some amazing prizes with loot.co.za and Expresso.
I can't decide. We've got a new competition where you're going to struggle to decide what to do. I'm struggling to decide. It feels like a competition every day, having this range to choose from.
I would say pick anything.
I'm going for a croissant because I earned it. I trained hard. I worked hard this weekend. Please, Princess.
Well, while Graham is sorting out his breakfast, we're taking a quick break. When we get back, some highlights from the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. Last week, we had some of the producers, actors, and directors on the show. I ran out of breath.
It looked like you were going to burst out crying. I was like, look, it was a proud moment. So the winter to my skin. It looks like a proper Oscar nod as well, which is now lots to feel proud about. And staying with the arts and feeling proud, we've got Jonathan Butler in the house, an incredible human being, a Grammy-nominated artist 2 times over, and we're going to catch up with him, find out how he is and what he's been up to. Princess, I love you. And I mean it, I really I love you in a special way. I love you.
Enjoy a moment in between with McAfee. See you after the break.
Moving out? Need more room? Scaling down? Private property is a great place to start your search. With thousands of new properties from South Africa's top real estate agents, banks, developers and homeowners. It's the easiest way to find your next home. Search for a home on any device, anytime, anywhere. Search privateproperty.co.za.
Enter the Win a Home competition on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance to win a brand new, fully decorated apartment at Parterflay Lifestyle Estate, developed by Baldwin Properties, worth over 3 million rand.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. We are joined now by a very special guest who I understand, despite being all the way over in LA, still watches our show every morning. Jonathan Butler, what an absolute pleasure to have you here.
I can't believe I'm sitting here watching the show, sitting right in the studio. I mean, I lay at home in my bedroom, and I'm like, there you guys are.
See, that's a music, because that would be like in the middle of the evening, I think,
that's
for
the evening
you.
For me, yeah.
We really appreciate that, so thank you so
I'm happy
much,
to
man.
be here. I'm happy to be here. It's great.
It's so great to
You guys are
connect
going to
with
be on
you.
Instagram in a minute, so...
Yeah, no, pump it out there, buddy, pump it out there. We love the fact that you have, I mean, you've achieved so much. I mean, we know that within the Grammy fold, there's something special that comes with that.
Yes.
If I have to ask you to go back to an age 12, Jonathan, in the context of the country that you lived in.
Oh my God, my first Grammy at age 12 was South African Sari Award. That's what it was. And I had 2 gold records for us. My first release was Please Stay by Burt Bacharach, actually. And I was living in Joburg, and I got signed to CCP Productions and did my first record. And before that, I was doing plays, kind of touring Zimbabwe, gosh, everywhere. Southeast Africa, South Africa.
How did you get it right during a time where, I mean, you were playlisted on radio, you were able to do things that very few other artists, maybe no other artists were able to do?
The 2 guys involved is Ralph Simon and Clive Calder, who started Jive Records. And I think, when you have people, a good team of people that believe in you, and they consistently talking to you about your gift and your music and putting it out there. So these guys were, I mean, it was Lionel Peterson, Ronnie Joyce, Richard Don Smith. We were all sort of under the same roof, and so we had to put out records. And music was the way, it was survival. So music was something that I was just a lover of it. I was a fan of it. I was a student of it, and I still am. So it's in my blood. So yeah.
Was it necessary? Did you see yourself as? Was it an obligation to do what you did, or were you just an artist trying to find a way?
I'm glad you said that. It's kind of twofold, because the obligation and determination was we were poor. So I could sing and earn a living for my parents to raise 12 children. We were 12 kids. So that was purpose-driven there. And the other side, it was just we were all gifted in the house. Thank God. We all had a musical gift. My parents did, and my brothers and sisters still perform.
No pressure, yeah.
So, man, it was really, it was, by the way, it's never for the glory. It was always like, whenever I can give my mother whenever I could give my mother the brown envelope, she would be the happiest person, and that made me the happiest person.
I'm sure, when you look back now and you do a bit of a Rolodex over all of these achievements, I'm sure the family is pretty proud right now.
Man,
living in the US, how do you put your career in perspective? Where are you in your career at the moment?
Well, I think I'm always searching and always still growing in my career, and always digging for new ideas and trying to collaborate and find other things to do. I play with a lot of different people in the States, and that really helps me keep my chops up, and also keeps me creative as well. But living there and being there all the time, you got to maintain this thing. You got to you can't give up on it.
Yeah.
You can't give up on it. You got to really maintain it and try to stay in the game with it.
I know you said not for your glory, but I think for the glory of others, and which I love. Just very quickly, the Jonathan Butler Foundation here in South Africa is now obviously giving this platform to a new generations.
Yeah, I was hanging out last night at a club, a jazz club, and I went to a jam session at Swingers, a place called Swingers, and I heard some of the youngest, freshest artists there last night. And my foundation, the focus now is to create the Jonathan Butler Scholarship Foundation, where we can, we can adopt artists and take them overseas, take them to LA, take them to New York, and put them in a music school, just do the whole thing, and do that every 2 years. So that's really something, because I heard it last night. I was like, these guys need to be, you need to pass on you need to pass on the torch.
Yeah, no, not just yet, though, buddy. You just hold that torch, please, man.
I am 57, so...
No, please. You hang on to it for a little bit longer, but we can share it around the room. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. It really is an honor having you here. Thank you.
I get to be on this show. I'm going to check it out in L.A. Hopefully this is on in L.A. when I get home.
And it's on right now, so people that are watching you right now. But Jonathan, thank you so much for spreading your love of what you do.
You're so welcome.
I know you don't want the glory, but we're going to heap the glory on you, my man, because you are doing something truly special. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Butler in the house.
In the news, President Cyril Ramaphosa handed over more than 4,000 hectares of land to the Kwa Makwanazi community in Mpangeni in the northern KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. The Minister of Energy, Jeff Radebe, will head up the panel which will select the new National Director of Public Prosecutions. On the international front, 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged over alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games. Those accused include Kip Keino, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And then finally, Britain and the US are considering boycotting a major international conference in Saudi Arabia after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Well, that was your 6:30 news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
In football, Bafana moved to the top of Group E in the AFCON qualifying campaign thanks to a 6-0 drubbing of the Seychelles in Soweto on Saturday. In the 2010 World Cup winners, Germany encounter this weekend. They're still in search of their first victory in the UEFA Nations League as they suffered a crushing 3-0 loss to the Netherlands on Saturday. In cricket, the Proteas completed a 2-0 series win over Zimbabwe. That was after yesterday's third test in Benoni was abandoned due to rain. And in rugby, the final stage of the group round of the 2018 Currie Cup took place this weekend, which saw Province, the Sharks, Lions and Bulls all moving through to the semi-finals. We'll expand on those headlines on the top of the hour.
Well, let's take a first look at what to expect in your traffic today. Starting off in Cape Town and Khayelitsha on the N2 inbound, there's a stationary vehicle. It's before Muway, currently obstructing the emergency lane. And in Cape Town in Observatory, there's an accident on the N2 outbound. It's after the New Market Street ramp. That left lane is currently closed. You can expect delays. That's where we leave your traffic. Another update will be coming your way in half an hour. But looking at your weather, we want to say a big thank you to the beautiful pictures coming through. Daza Makaringa sent us this great skyline picture from Bushbuck Ridge in Mpumalanga. You can expect warm temperatures today, reaching a maximum of 36 degrees. Rain is also predicted for a little bit later this week that will bring some relief from the heat. But on that note, let's look at the rest of the temperatures, starting off in Polokwane. A low of 14 with a high of 31 can be expected for today. Mbombela 16:34. Pretoria 13:28, Johannesburg 10 with a high of 25. It's sunny in Mahikeng today 11:29, Klerksdorp 9 with a high of 27. If you're in Kimberley 8:27 can be expected, Bloemfontein 5 with a high of 25. It's sunny in Richards Bay 17 with a high of 26, Pietermaritzburg 14:24, Durban 19:24, Mthatha 11 with a high of 21. East London 14:22, Cradock 8 with a high of 24. Partly cloudy in Port Elizabeth 14 with a high of 21. George 12, 19, Sutherland 4 with a high of 18. If you're in Cape Town today, partly cloudy conditions with a low of 12, a high of 20. Worcester 8 reaching a high of 22. Springbok 8, 22, and Uppington 11 with a high of 28 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather. We'll have another update for you in half an hour.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu-C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
Well, it's your Monday morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yes, well, it's a brand new week. Listen, so good to be hanging out with you guys, man. Do you know? So much family vibes going around here. Stop, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Listen, we're going to take a very quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, of course, making big waves here in the mother city is the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. Yeah. It was a huge deal. I know JP Sebastian, he was also involved there, looking dashing in his suit. But we're going to bring you the highlights and a roundup as to what went down.
And making big waves in the kitchen, we're going to be showing you how to make a delicious bechamel sauce, which is the base for so many gorgeous sauces.
It's always one of those things that you kind of know it's simple how to do, but you just don't know how to do it.
Exactly, and now we're going to show you how to do it. All that and more happening on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Add a little goodness to your day, your friend's day, and make your school's year as the Crush Share the Goodness campaign returns. Last year, the Crush crew gave away 10,000 pairs of shoes to school children across South Africa. By watching Expresso from spring through the summer and refreshing yourself with your favorite Clover Crush flavor, you stand daily chances of winning for yourself, your friends, and school. Details to follow on Expresso.
I think the first song is What the World Needs.
Yes, yeah, yes, I'll take it.
I think that's the first one. If you get an opportunity. I hate putting tea here, man. I hate that. It's the only thing that's just a little love.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I hope you've refilled those coffee cups. Time for us to now find out what's happening in our local entertainment news.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? A few days ago, I saw this beautiful story on Instagram shared with us by Bobby van Jaarsveld, the Afrikaans singer who we all know and love. And he shared a story of him surprising a beautiful girl by the name of Candice, who's 15 years old, terminally ill with brain cancer, and he shared this beautiful video of how he surprised her because meeting him was on her bucket list of things to do.
Almal moet verseker by Namkose draai maak. Dit is 'n fantastiese plek. Dit is baie lekker. Ek het my tydjie hier vandag geniet. Dit is awesome. Die diertjies is pragtig. En dan gaan ons nou vir 'n game drive en dit is nog steeds as dit is
Hallo. Hoe gaan het? That's it. Hallo jullie. Hallo kinders. Kom weer af naar mijn kinders. Doe mijn boos ook naar boven. Hoe gaan het kinders?
Wow, as you can see, Candice was completely overcome with emotion, getting an opportunity to see this person who she loves so much. And this was actually something that her parents have done and are doing as they try to tick off all of the things on her bucket list because they don't know how long they're going to have her around for. So I think it's wonderful. And of course, Bobby went on to say on his Instagram that he's so humbled by this whole experience, and he thanks Candice for showing us how beautiful, you know, life is and how we should all be appreciating it.
What a sweet moment and what a beautiful way to start off our local entertainment news. So thank you, Leanne, for that. And of course, Bobby, for doing such an amazing job. I hope he sang her a treffer or two as well.
I absolutely love that. Well, we're going to continue on that very proud vein this morning. We've had quite simply the privilege of hosting some of the directors, actors, producers of local connections at the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. I think So the Winter to My Skin, our official Academy nod, certainly standing out in amidst a brilliant field this year. And of course, all of those filmmakers got to revel in each other's cinematic achievements at a red carpet event, and we thought we'd join in with a little bit of reveling of our own.
Thousands of miles of film, blood, sweat and tears all culminated on this red carpet of the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. We sent our own JP Sebastian to find out what's behind this 120 Film Lodge celebration.
Okay, with Leon van der Merwe, director of the CTIFMF. Now that is a mouthful to say, so sorry, I'm JP by the way. Where did all these extra Fs and these Ms come from? It means Film Market and Festival.
That's correct. Yes, the festival started originally as the Cape Winelands Film Festival and then turned around and we renamed it 2 years ago as the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival. Works in progress that is being judged, training workshops, couch sessions. Yeah, that's awesome where the training is concerned.
So, and anyone who's interested in getting into an industry like this is where you get to.
That is absolutely where you've got to be at this point.
I think we are trying to pull down the barriers to entry. Excellent. We are trying to ensure that more people have accessibility to an industry. and for us taking up a leadership role to ensure that we, as filmmakers ourselves, look at this and say, what can we do differently?
The opening movie was SA's contender for Academy Award nomination, So the Winter to My Skin. Of course, JP was also eager to meet its creative team.
It is a pleasure to meet someone who is, you're under consideration by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, or the Oscars to most normal people. Has that dawned on you yet?
No.
You look really chilled.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't, man. I mean, how can it? You know what I mean? Like, you don't, when you do this, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about, being true and authentic to what you're doing, And I mean, that's what this is about. It's to get to the people. This is about rising, standing up, and just doing it with dignity, respect, values,
Question of, what are we doing this for? Why So the Winter to My Skin? Why now? I'm sure you could give us a 2-hour lecture on that subject.
This dude, you just throw the questions, why don't you? Why now? Why not now? But my thing is essentially, as Africans, this medium, specifically film, is still relatively new to us in regards to us really being able to articulate ourselves and tell our stories. So it's an attempt to do that, man, Well, I think we're forging that kind of journey now. It's a medium that we are still quite young at. And I look forward to the period and the time where we can just express ourselves in the film, using film as a tool, in the same way that we do the pen.
Well, I think what's very significant for us as young filmmakers, as a new generation of South African filmmakers, is to start telling our stories from our own perspectives. And I really believe that even though we know our history and it's been regurgitated time and time and again, perspective is a very important thing. And the way that we export our culture when it is our own is completely different to when something else comments on it.
So the Winter to My Skin is our official torchbearer for Oscar consideration and premiered at the Gala. A white-knuckle, action-packed tale of a black hero in the vein of Mzansi Robin Hood, gallantly outrunning the forces of apartheid. Pulse racing, eyes undried, and at times laughing in split sides, the crowd hailed our Oscar contender.
Then what you can expect is the morals into the story. An amazing art film. The visuals was beautiful. Loved it, adored it. It was amazing. I want to watch it again, actually. Yeah.
First things first. I told you I was going to ask you one question, but the first question you've got to ask that you've been asked 1,000 times. The feeling of possibly being considered by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. What's that feeling?
It is incredible. I have no words. Just like the film, I have no words.
What should the viewers expect going to see So the Winter to My Skin, which they should?
Visual chocolate. Visual chocolate all the way melts in your mouth. Chocolate.
I feel like possibly a shareholder in big chocolate industry. Harrowing at times, actually surprisingly funny, but totally its own species of animal, an idiosyncratic piece of art. So the Winter to My Skin is a must-see. I'd encourage every South African to do so, and you have the opportunity during the Cape Town International Film Market and Festival in the next couple of days. Seriously, go watch this movie, go support others, local, global. Open your hearts, open your minds to art, and just shaking up your expectations a bit. Thanks. What is a thanks at the end?
Well, it was certainly buzzing in the Mother City. Well done, JP. Right now, we're going to be jumping into the kitchen. We told you a bechamel sauce, you need to know how to make it.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
That's right, we're in the kitchen, and this morning we're going to show you how to make the classic bechamel sauce, otherwise known as a white sauce, and is one of the French mother sauces that requires only 3 ingredients. It's the backbone to many favorite dishes, including creamy mac and cheese, lasagna, and the base to make a variety of different cheese sauces. Now this morning with Clover Fresh full cream milk, we're getting back to basics, and we're going to show you how this creamy white sauce can be used in many recipes.
Absolutely, Zoe. So do you know how to make a white sauce?
I think I do. I know it's the 3 ingredients is what I'm seeing in front of me. It's your butter, your flour, and your milk.
Absolutely. Let me scoot over on this side.
But you have something else there.
But this is cool. Like you said it right. It's the mother of all sauces. So once you know how to make your simple white sauce or your bechamel sauce, you can then go about making a mushroom sauce. You can go about making a pepper sauce, which is my favorite, by the way, or even a cheese sauce. As long as you get the ratios right, you are good to go. So we're going to start. I'm going to turn this guy up a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to start with our butter.
There we go.
It's going to get that melted in there. You can see it's nice and hot already.
Yes.
Bam, like that. Okay, so you want to make sure that it just melts down properly before you continue with the rest.
Okay.
I'm going to switch over to my whisk. Right,
There we
now,
go.
our flour. Can you pour me 2 cups of Clover Fresh full cream milk?
There we go. 2 cups is the whole thing.
And the trick is here, you need to continue whisking. You want to make sure that you get it lump-free.
There we
Just
go.
like that, because obviously the flour is going to be the one that's going to make it nice and
It's
thick.
just over 2 cups.
Just over, okay. And if you don't mind, now that we're nice and hot, now you're going to help me here.
Okay.
Pour it in there slowly for me. You can see I've got a nice and smooth consistency going here already.
There we go.
Go for it. Now you can, of course, go with your milk. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Yes.
Can I keep going?
Keep going, keep going.
There we go.
There we go. And you want to make sure that you whisk non-stop.
There we go.
Nice. Keep going, keep going.
Keep going, okay.
All of
There
it.
we go, there we
Yes.
go. I did put a little bit more than 2
Okay,
cups
okay,
in.
that's fine. So the flour's going to thicken. Now you want to make sure this heats up. Get some salt and pepper over there.
There we go. So I'm going to go with pepper first.
That's it. Get that in there as well.
There we go.
Perfect.
And we're going to add a little bit of our herb amare.
Yes.
There we go.
So of course, you can season it when you're done as well, but this just goes in for the flavoring. Nice. And now you keep whisking. You want to make sure that it gets nice and smooth.
And
as you
naturally
can
it will
see,
thicken up.
It will thicken now. As you start cooking it nice and slowly, you have to continue whisking. All right, so you don't, because obviously milk can burn quite easily at the bottom of the pot. You don't want that, but the flour's in there now. So that's going to start thickening up very nicely. I've got some bay leaves as well
I'll
that
add
you can
those
throw
for
in.
you.
So like we've said, so we've got the milk ratio and the flour and the butter now. So you can, of course, use half milk, maybe half stock if you want as well to give it a different flavor. But as long as the liquid ratios are the same.
They're
So
on
slowly
par.
but surely, that's going to start thickening
Thickening
up.
up.
Very easy. Get your hands on the recipe. The keyword is Clover. SMS that to 33728. That's Clover to 33728. And we'll send you the ingredients list as well as a link to the recipe that you can go use. So this starts cooking down very, very slowly, easy as that.
and
like you
easy.
said, we presented you with some asparagus. We love asparagus, and you can see the white sauce. It pairs very, very nicely on there with your asparagus as well. And you can see this starting to thicken up very, very slowly now.
There we go.
Perfect.
Well, if you've missed any of the steps on how we made this amazing bechamel sauce, well, we've got a quick recap for you.
This classic Clover fresh milk bechamel sauce is one of the French mother sauces that requires only a few ingredients for your next dish. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of Clover fresh full cream milk, 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of Clover butter, 3 to 4 bay leaves, salt and pepper. Add flour to melted Clover butter. Whisk to avoid any lumps. Gradually add Clover fresh full cream milk, whisking continuously. Add bay leaves, salt and pepper. Stir to combine. Remove bay leaves. Serve over cooked asparagus or served over cooked and drained pasta. It's the backbone to many favorite dishes and the base used to make a variety of different cheese sauces. So go on and enjoy.
Made with love by Clover.
There we go, and it's starting to thicken up.
It's looking beautiful. Just smell that quickly.
Okay, wait.
Just smell that.
Okay, oh, you get that
And then
creamy.
you get that. Once you get that iconic bechamel sauce,
Yeah.
then you know, like, you've done something right, which is amazing.
Okay, so I was being impatient. I was saying, shouldn't we add more flour? And you're like, no, it needs to slowly thicken.
It's going to slowly thicken, so you'll see it's looking very nice and creamy already. So you can see there, it looks slightly, a little more runny.
The
so we're gonna,
texture has,
But the texture is definitely improving. You can see the bubbles forming on the top now. So you just keep stirring, just keep whisking, and you're going to be good to go. You're going to be left with a beautiful white sauce, bechamel sauce. And obviously now, once you get this right, I mean, you can turn it into a cheese sauce. You can add your cheese, your favorite cheese in there as well. And you can also do your pepper sauce, which is amazing. Mushrooms as well, just fire the mushroom. You can pop that in there. So you can really, this is, like I said, the mother of all sauces. And look, Zoe, look.
Look, it's starting to
You
definitely
see
thicken
now,
up. Well, if
you
you'd love to
see.
have the steps and the recipe sent directly to your phone, just SMS the keyword Clover to 33728, and you can be making your own bechamel sauce pretty soon.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast show, we're talking about empowering women through beauty.
I love it. Then how empowering is this view?
Oh my gosh. I have no words for this.
That's why we're going to keep you here for as long as we
words.
possibly can. Jonathan Butler is in the house. He's going to perform a standard that has had new life breathed into it by some of the greatest artists ever. I'm talking about Dionne Warwick, Burt Bacharach. You can start searching right now. Hit both of our Instagram feeds to find out what it is he is performing after the break.
Obesity, the #1 health risk pets face. More than 50% of pets are overweight or obese. Just one slice of toast to a dog equals one whole burger to a human. Take your pet for a free check today. Hills Pet Nutrition, transforming lives.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Here we go. Good morning and welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you, Zoe. It's a special day. Every day, millions of people celebrate their birthdays all over the world. So as we welcome today, the 15th of October, we thought we'd give a bit of a birthday shout out to some of our favorite viewers out there and possibly celebs as well. Who knows?
So who's first up on the list?
Well, the first one, should we do this? Look at this young man. He is absolute. He owns my entire heart. Kian, my boy, is celebrating his 6th birthday today. I know he's watching. Give it up for Kian, my boy. I love you so much, Kian. Happy birthday. We had the most incredible party yesterday. Little soccer star, as you can see right there, man. He is loving it. Kian, my boy, Papa loves you, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'm going to see you a little bit later. I'm going to give you the biggest hug in the entire world. Mwah. Happy birthday, boy,
Happy birthday, Kian. Now we've
Look at that man.
Look at him, a young stud like
Hey.
his dad. Now we've also got a viewer on the line who's celebrating her birthday today. Haroldine Arence's husband, Troy, he emailed us to please give her a call for her birthday. So on the line we now have Haroldine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Haroldine. Well, this is our official good morning and happy birthday to you. How's your morning been so far?
Oh, it's exciting now.
Well, listen, this is all your hubby's work. Listen, what have you got planned for your special day today?
Oh, well, I had an early birthday present, and that was on Saturday morning with my daughter. Yeah, took me for champagne, breakfast, and champagne tasting, champagne and nougat tasting.
Oh, well, everything's better with a little bit of champagne, Haroldine. Thank you so much. Listen, we hope you have a fantastic day. I know you celebrated over the weekend, but today's your actual birthday, so you actually just get to celebrate the whole week or for the rest of October, I would say.
Yes, Dr. Well.
Take a birthday month, Haroldine. Happy birthday from all of us here at Expresso, and thank you very much for being part of our family.
That's right. And we've got a special slice of cake just for you, and we're going to make it for Kian as well.
Yay!
As you guys are celebrating your birthdays today. So thank you so much, and wishing you, if we've missed you, a happy birthday for today too. Now, if you would like for us to give you a call if it's your birthday, or perhaps wish someone you loved's birthday, why don't you email us to birthdays@Express. In fact, it's birthdays@cordova.tv, and don't forget to include a contact number, some details, and a picture so that we can make sure your information is correct and we can make your birthday a special one.
Absolutely. We love cake. We love sparkles. Go out, enjoy your special day if you are celebrating your birthday. And once again, Kian, I love you, boyki. Have a lovely birthday.
Oh, man, I'll add my voice to that, Kian. A very happy birthday, my boy. We are so proud of you. So now I think I've been going a little bit gaga, having a bit of a fanboy moment over having this incredible human being in studio this morning, a man who is proving with his time here in South Africa and the work that he's doing through his foundation that his heart and his spirits are probably bigger than his list of accolades, which is saying a lot. He had to put his own trademark spin on a standard. What the world needs now is love. It's Jonathan Butler.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Oh Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another medal. No, no. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to last. Listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, love. What the world needs now is love, love. What the world needs now is a little hope. What the world needs is a little faith. Yeah, yeah. What the world needs now, we need grace, we need your mercy and grace. Oh, what the world needs now, what the world needs now, what the world needs now. What the world needs now is love.
In the national news this morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa handed over more than 4,000 hectares of land to the Kwa Mkwanazi community in Mpangeni in northern KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. He also handed over the title deeds of both the land that Mkwanazi residents have held since 2002 and the land that was restored yesterday. He commended companies that have leased agreements on the Mkwanazi land and who will provide bursaries for local students studying in areas relevant to the forestry sector. The Minister of Energy, Jeff Radebe, will lead up the panel involved in selecting the new National Director of Public Prosecutions, known as the NDPP, the presidency announced yesterday. While the panel will make recommendations, the Constitution prescribes that it is ultimately only the president who can decide who to appoint as NDPP. Ramaphosa has now invited a number of legal organizations and independent public institutions to assist in identifying possible candidates. Earlier this year, the Constitutional Court ruled that the appointment of Sean Abrams as National Prosecution Authority head was unconstitutional and invalid. Now moving further abroad, 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged over alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games, the country's chief prosecutor has said. Those accused include ex-sports minister Hassan Wario and former Olympic Committee head Kip Keino, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Chief prosecutor Nuruddin Haji says they must turn themselves in by today. More than $546,000 meant for athletes was allegedly siphoned off. Haji said the impact of corruption and siphoning off of funds meant for the facilitation of sportsmen and women have a negative impact on their ability to perform optimally. And then finally, Britain and the US are considering boycotting a major international conference in Saudi Arabia after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi, a critic of the Saudi government, vanished on the 2nd of October after visiting its consulate in Istanbul. The authorities in Istanbul believe that he was murdered by Saudi agents and claims Riyadh has dismissed as lies. Now, several sponsors and media groups have decided to pull out of this month's investment conference in Riyadh as a result of concerns over Khashoggi's fate. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Let's kick it off with football, and Bafana in impressive form as they move to the top of Group E in their AFCON qualifying campaign thanks to their biggest ever win, a 6-0 drubbing of the Seychelles in Soweto on Saturday. Tudlani, Atlatswayo, Percy Tau and Dino Ndlovu all finding the back of the net to guide Bafana to their biggest ever victory. In other AFCON qualifying results, Nigeria put 4 past Libya to move second in Group E. Egypt down Swaziland 4-1, while Senegal beat the Sudan by 3-0. Staying with football, the 2010 World Cup winners Germany are still in search of their first victory in the UEFA Nations League as they suffered a crushing 3-0 loss to the Netherlands on Saturday. Jorginho Wijnaldum's 93rd minute goal putting the finishing touch on his side's very impressive performance. And after goals from defender Virgil van Dijk and Memphis Depay that put the Dutch in charge. In other results, England and Croatia's clash finished goalless. Belgium edged out Switzerland 2-1, while Italy beat Poland 1-0. Then in cricket, the Proteas completed their 2-0 series win over Zimbabwe. That was after yesterday's third and final T20 in Benoni was abandoned due to rain. While a ball couldn't be bowled yesterday, South Africa had already secured the series victory on Friday night thanks to a 6-wicket win in their second T20 in Poch. So the Proteas' next challenge will start on the 4th of November and is likely to be supercharged as they take on Australia in a 3-match ODI series. Then finally on to rugby. The final group stage round of the 2018 Currie Cup took place this weekend, and it sees Province, the Sharks, Lions and Bulls all moving through to the semi-finals. Western Province secured top of the log, and a home semi-final that was after their clash with the Bulls was called off at half-time due to very heavy rain, with a score at 34-7 to Province. Also in action, the Sharks beat the Griquas 41-11, while the Lions booked their spot overcoming the Pumas by 33 points to 21. That's a wrap of your sport for now.
Right, let's quickly take another look as to what's happening out on the roads for your Monday morning. Starting in Cape Town, longer on the N2 inbound. There's congestion after Jake's Gerwel Drive. Heavy delays can be expected in that area, so just please allow for some extra travel time this morning. And then heading over to Gauteng, Fairland, there's been an accident on the N1 northbound after Ondaka's Road obstructing the left lane. Traffic is backed up from Phantom Road, so please just keep a lookout for that and plan your routes accordingly. That's what I have for you in terms of your roads. If you're heading out, please drive with care. I'll bring another update update in half an hour's time. Getting straight into your weather for your Monday morning, we've asked you to send in some of your pictures, what it looks like in your parts of the world, maybe a sunrise picture, and we received this beautiful one from Ashwin Akim. Thank you very much, Ashwin, who sent us this cloudy skyline picture from Parkwood here in Cape Town. Thank you very, very much, my friend. You can expect partly cloudy conditions today with some light morning showers as well, reaching a maximum of 20 degrees later on. Thank you very much there, Ashwin. We look forward to seeing more of your pictures at home. Show us what it looks like in your parts of the world. Post those pictures on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. With regards to your temperatures going into your Monday morning, Polokwane on 14 minimum, reaching a high of 31. Mbombela 16.34, Pretoria 13.28, Johannesburg 10.25, Mahikeng 11.29, Klerksdorp 9.27, Kimberley 8 and a high of 27 degrees, Bloemfontein 5.25, Richards Bay 17.26, Pietermaritzburg 14 and a mild maximum of 24, Durban 19.24, Mthatha 11.21, East London 14.22, Cradock 8.24, Port Elizabeth 14.21, George 12.19, Sutherland 4 and a high of 18, Cape Town 12.20, Worcester 8.22, Springbok 8.22 as well, and Uppington starting off on 11, reaching a nice and hot maximum of 28 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures as well as your traffic. We'll have another update for you in half an hour's time.
Well, shopping has never been better than with a new loot.co.za app, and winning has never been easier than on your feel-good breakfast show. So what we're going to do, from tomorrow, 3 lucky viewers are going to stand the chance to win with the Expresso Morning Show loot.co.za wheel. We're going to be spinning it for you, and you stand the chance to walk away with some amazing prizes. But first, you need to get involved, and this is how you do it. You need to go and download the loot.co.za app. Once you've downloaded it, you need to screen grab the app on your phone, then send us a picture of that screen grab to, here's the number, 071 640 6551. And of course, don't forget to register on loot.co.za as well. Before you get to spin the wheel, that needs to happen. But wait, here are some of those incredible prizes. Sennheiser headphones valued at 2,705 Rand. A DeLonghi toaster valued at 2,799 Rand. How about this one? A generator valued at 1,500 Rand. There's also a Nescafe Dolce Gusto coffee machine. I'm about that one for 1,999 Rand. A ceiling fan valued at 2,000 Rand. Alva Kalahari gas barbecue, valued at 5,999 Rand. A DeLonghi kettle, 1,404 Rand. And then a Kenwood Pure Juice Pro valued at 5,599 Rand. Is that worth playing for? I think it's definitely worth playing for. So make sure you go and download the new loot.co.za app, screen grab a picture of the app, send it to this number, 071 640 6551. And who knows, I could be spinning the wheel and you could be winning big from tomorrow.
My heart is like racing just watching that wheel spin. This is going to be intense for me, I think.
Those prizes are absolutely awesome.
I didn't know, Lee, that you were so excited about a gas braai. I need a gas braai. Okay, please, please. No, it's going to be awesome. And in fact, after the break, we're going to continue on a very inspirational trend. We are looking at how beauty can be used to empower women in the most fundamental way. Love it.
Love it too. And then speaking of that, we'll also be getting some beauty tips from makeup artist Pumutso Madal. That's coming your way after the break.
All Expresso presenters and guests fly domestically with Mango. Enjoy outstanding service, online check-in and seat selection. With the widest booking and payment options, Mango is the only airline globally to accept store charge cards as a means of payment. Fly in comfort with ergonomically efficient seats for more legroom. Aboard a fleet of new generation Boeing 737-800 aircraft. Join the presenters of Expresso and fly Mango.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso. Now, beauty has been pitched as a luxury for years now, but the trio of women entrepreneurs behind Amazi Nail and Beauty Bar are here to say and prove that beauty care should be for everyone. That you walk out of their business with wow written all over you is a given, but it's what their enterprise is doing for the women they train and empower that will really knock you out.
Divya, Lisa and Katleho are three women on a mission to nurture untapped potential and, of course, transform the lives of women in South Africa by training them in the art of beauty. All this through their social enterprise, Amazi. I'm here to meet the three powerful women to find out more about their business.
Offering affordable, accessible beauty care for all people, the soul of this operation is how they upskill women, allowing them to join the tough-to-crack beauty industry.
Divya, what is Amazi all about?
Amazi is a group of 3 companies that works collaboratively to foster economic inclusion among marginalized women. We believe that the mental and emotional work to feel worthy of opportunity is fundamental. So our group of 3 companies, which is our non-profit, our for-profit and our trust, are intricately designed in order to facilitate that.
A lot of people might attempt to call Amazi a feel-good project, and you don't like this description very much. Why is that?
I think we have a very narrow definition of what it means to be a successful business in South Africa. We believe that you can create profit with impact. And in fact, we go so far as to say that if you include impact in your business model, you would be able to create longer-term, better profits over time. So we aren't a feel-good project in the sense that we're not a charity. We believe that we are a for-profit business that incorporates impact into our business model.
How has Amazi grown since inception?
Well, Amazi started off as an employment readiness program that was housed under the clothing bank. But we soon realized that there was a market to actually turn this into a business. So the new Amazi group was actually formed late last year.
You have a movement, Paint, Purpose and Heart. What's that all about?
That speaks to the fact that Amazi is more than just a beauty brand. As we say, Amazi is a different kind of beauty. We're leading a movement that has been a conversation for decades globally, which pretty much states that when women thrive, all of society benefits. When women are given an opportunity and their talent is tapped into, then you're able to realize the benefits that come with having an enriched woman.
This location is in walking distance of the train station, taxi rank and bus stop. The focus is on being located in and drawing trainees from the community.
Lisa, what motivated you to co-found Amazi?
There's a lot of untruths that become a barrier to us developing in many different ways. And my purpose at Amazi is unpacking those untruths so that we get women that are self-assured, confident in who they are, and building resilience so that they thrive.
You have 2 distinct arms of Amazi that cultivate inclusivity. What are those and exactly how does it all work?
Well, we've got the Amazi Academy, which is our non-profit arm, and we also have the Amazi Nail and Beauty Bars. At the Academy, it's more than just the technical skills of doing a manicure pedicure course, but we really delve deep down into the emotional aspect and rewire the way the women approach life. We give self-belief, self-regulation, and then we say the women thrive. At the end of the academy journey, the women then transition into store, where they settle into a job environment, and that is where Amazi experiences the inclusivity.
Getting into the industry is an expensive task, but thanks to the academy, the ladies at the store have been rigorously trained.
Zanele, how was your experience at the academy?
Wow, the experience wasn't easy because I thought we were going to be trained just to do nails, but actually we were being restored as women. There was life skill because we were coming from different backgrounds as women. We were taught to love one another and to share those experiences that we went through as women.
Amazi is proving that it's viable to be a business that offers an affordable product and service and still be obsessed with quality.
What advice do you have for girls out there that want to, go into business?
One thing we speak about at Amazi is alignment and intention. And very often, I suppose because of, you know, the society that we're living in, it's quick to chase the business that's going to give me the most money or the business that's going to give me the most fame. But if there's anything that we've learned as a collective is that whatever it is that you decide to start, make sure that it's in alignment with your purpose and you've got pure intentions as to why you're starting it.
The hope is that one day, some, if not all of the trainees, end up owning their own Amazi franchise.
Well, now the makeup world has exploded on Instagram over the past few years. And of course, we've seen amazing makeup looks being created all over the place. Luckily, our next guest does just that, and she does it really, really well. Instagram influencer Pumutsa Modao, otherwise known as Beauty by Pumi, joins us in studio with a very original makeup look that was inspired by the hashtag Roy Moment campaign.
Enjoy full fruit flavor in Ceylon or green tea varieties of Manhattan iced tea, made with love by Clover.
So who knew that iced tea could actually inspire a makeup look? But that's what we're going to be talking today. Pumi is going to be showing us, of course, Beauty by Pumi joins us in studio to show us a brand new makeup look inspired by the campaign, hashtag Roy Moment campaign. And it looks absolutely amazing. Pumi, so good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You're looking good. Your lips are sparkling. So Yama, the model's looking really interesting here. Tell us how you got into the industry and how you were inspired to get involved with this campaign.
Well, first of all, I love makeup. I started doing makeup since 2012, and my personal makeup style is something that's out there, something that's a little, you know, not normal. So when Manhattan approached me, I just had to jump onto the idea.
It was amazing. Okay, so the brief was that you needed to create a makeup look that was inspired by the brand new Rooibos flavor. Where does one even begin? When you're given a brief like that, you're given a gorgeous bottle like that and say, now go forth and prosper.
When I create makeup looks, I just have to look at what's trending online. So what I saw was cascading water falling down the face. So that's exactly what I incorporated with my model here.
That is beautiful and delicious.
Thank you.
So when it comes to creating unique looks, because like you say, you go for something different, what would your top tips be for anybody who's watching right now, who's an aspiring, you know, beauty artist or beautician? What would your top tips be for creating a unique look like that? I mean, that's insanely beautiful. Wow.
My top tip would actually be to be yourself.
Yeah.
I think for a long time I tried to keep myself in a bubble and do what's normal, but what I enjoy is obviously the makeup that's out there, and that's what I've been noticed for today, so I think that speaks for itself.
I love that we're bringing a Rooibos flavor iced tea and the world of beauty together. Why do you think it's so important for creatives to collaborate across platforms in South Africa?
I think it's important to collaborate because it brings you out there. It's great exposure for myself right now. So yeah, I think that really helps with bringing yourself out there.
So do you want to put Sayama to work there? Because she's sitting there looking all beauty. Show us how you created this amazing look.
So basically, I started with a blank canvas. I started with her normal makeup, and I just incorporated my berry flavor into her face.
Okay, wonderful stuff. And then, of course, like I saw in the other picture, you actually had a glass.
Yes,
that you were
so that was the
holding
idea with this, is to hold up the bottle and, you know, pretend that it's
create the
falling down the
illusion
face.
that the Rooibos is falling into the face and creating this beauty look. I love that. I really, really love it. You make it look so easy, like we could all do this. Hey, Graham wants to try that as well. I just have to know, what is your favorite flavor of Rooibos tea? Iced tea?
I think my dress would say that berry would be my favorite flavor.
I think so.
And my lipstick
beautiful.
color. Thank you.
It looks really, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Pumi, for being here. Thank you, Sayama, for being such a beautiful model. She's just so stunning and wonderful. And of course, you stand the chance of being a lucky winner, because one lucky viewer will stand the chance to win a private makeup session with Beauty by Pumi, where she will create this unique look inspired by one of the new Clover Manhattan Rooibos flavors. The competition will run on Clover Manhattan Iced Tea social media pages, and there will be numerous posts on which you can enter according to the different entry mechanisms. So each competition post will state how you can enter, so get entering now. The competition runs from the 15th of October today to midnight on the 28th of October, so don't miss out.
Enjoy full fruit flavor in Ceylon or green tea varieties of Manhattan iced tea. Made with love by Clover.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Unbelievable. When you get a wow from me, you know. Very, very impressive.
It looks good in you, man. It looks good in you. We should try it. Listen, we're going to be taking a very quick break. Don't go anywhere. It's your Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. When you come back, we digest some tech. Yes, it's your Tech Digest with Brian Smith. We're talking about the big hack. There's something crazy going around there. You know, if you take a look at big consumer companies like Amazon and Google, small little microchips, man, that's what we're focusing on. We'll tell you the whole story. It's scary.
Are we safe? I don't know. Then, of course,
question.
JR has had an incredible career and he's got a new collab on the cards with a very powerful message. We're going to bring you a sneak peek. We'll see you in a mo.
Don't take credit. Unexpected coming from a bank, but just think about it. Using credit to finance a flashy lifestyle to show that you've arrived won't help you live better. What's new today is old tomorrow, except for the debt that you still have to pay. But do take credit to renovate your home, buy a more reliable car, or pay for your children's education. If that's your goal, then Capitec will help you realize your dreams. Because living better starts when you get credit for the right reasons.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right here on SABC3 as the madness continues on your Monday morning. Time for a bit of tech news and Tech Digest. It is alleged that major consumer technology companies, including the likes of Amazon and Google, had been hacked as a result of a small microchip embedded in motherboards from a Chinese manufacturer. Now, wondering what the big hack is all about, we're joined by our tech expert, Brian Smith, this morning, who has promised to let us in on how likely these allegations are. Brian, thank you very much.
Thanks.
For joining us this morning. Like you've rightly put it, just off air right now, another day, another hack. I love that.
Seems like it.
Listen, what is the deal here? The big hack allegations.
Definitely. So this is perhaps one of the really interesting tech stories to come up this year, but we're not entirely true.
The Matrix.
Precisely how true these allegations are. Bloomberg Businessweek earlier this month ran a story alleging that through a hacking attempt through a Chinese manufacturer, small microchips the size of a grain of rice or smaller than a pencil tip had been embedded on motherboards and servers run by the likes of Google all the way to Amazon. Purportedly, these chips installed on motherboards enabled hackers to not only view and edit data, but also modify the running parameters or running operations of servers at these major tech companies, and could have potentially leaked some very sensitive data.
This is scary. This is very, very scary. I mean, you know, something that you will never know buying a piece of technology with that very, you can't almost see the microchip. But I mean, how likely is something like this?
That's a very, very interesting question. So perhaps right off the bat, what's interesting to note is that all the tech companies implicated in this breach or apparent breach have gone on to refute these allegations, absolutely. And this is the year where tech companies have taken a step forward in being open and transparent about data breaches. So I think that does say something important.
Yeah.
Talking about likelihood, at the outset, these kind of attacks are possible. It has been done in smaller scales in the past. However, the massive scale and breadth of this attack, as well as the allegations and speed at which these companies or hacking groups would have attempted to install these microchips, does render it somewhat unlikely.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a scary thought because once again, I mean, with regards to your personal devices and your PCs at home, I mean, you've got everything on there. And nowadays, living on kind of in an online world, online space, you transact, you do everything on it. Is there any way that we as consumers can safeguard ourselves against something like this? Because essentially, this is something you won't even know that is there.
Precisely. So unfortunately, with these kind of hardware hacks, as they're called, it's very difficult to safeguard your personal privacy. However, there are a range of checks that actually go into the production of a device before you receive it in your own hands. For example, manufacturers rely on secure supply chain management processes, which in layman's terms means they apply very close scrutiny to the devices or components they see that eventually make up the smartphones and computers as we buy them today.
Yeah.
And although it's very, very unlikely, there's a very small chance that we could get those kind of hacking devices embedded within our processors and motherboards. To actually get one in the end of our hands is quite an unlikely process.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's also you need to be wary of where you buy your technology. So reputable dealers obviously would be the go-to thing.
That's where we want
to
go.
Checked, yeah. Sure, Brian, thank you very much, man. There's definitely something to digest this morning. That's your tech news on your Feel Good Breakfast show. So I think, yeah, you got to be safe. You got to be safe out there. It's a big world in the online sphere, Brian. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
In the national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa handed over more than 4,000 hectares of land to the Kwa Mkwanazi community in Mpangeni in northern KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. The Minister of Energy, Jeff Radebe, will head up the panel which will select the new National Director of Public Prosecutions. On the international front, 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged over alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games. Those accused include Kip Keino, a two-time Olympic gold medalist. And then finally, Britain and the US are considering boycotting a major international conference in Saudi Arabia after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport.
Bring you a quick sporting synopsis. Send football, Bafana moved to the top of Group E in the AFCON qualifying campaign thanks to a 6-0 drubbing of the Seychelles in Soweto on Saturday. Staying with football, 2010 World Cup winners Germany are still in search of their first victory in the UEFA Nations League, suffering a crushing 3-0 loss to the Netherlands on Saturday. In cricket, the Proteas have completed their 2-0 series win over Zimbabwe. That was after yesterday's third test in Benoni was abandoned due to rain. And in rugby, the final group stage round of the 2018 Currie Cup took place this weekend, and it sees Province, the Sharks, Lions and Bulls all moving through to the semi-finals. We'll expand on those headlines one last time on the top of the hour.
Well, let's take another look at your roads in Gauteng in Centurion. Now, on the N1 southbound, there's been an accident. Is that John Foster Drive obstructing the center lane? Please keep a lookout for that and maybe allow for some extra travel time this morning. And staying in Gauteng, in Germiston, there's a stationary vehicle. It's on the N3 northbound after Rand Airport interchange. That left lane's been obstructed and it's causing heavy delays. That's where we leave your traffic. We'll have a final update for you in half an hour. But we also want to say thank you for sending through those beautiful sunrise photos. You can continue to do so on the Expresso Facebook page. We want to say thank you to Khomotso, who sent us this very amazing sunrise from Villa Lisa in East Rand. Khomotso, you can expect partly cloudy conditions today, reaching a maximum of 24 degrees. On that note, let's take another look at all of the weather across the country. Starting off in Polokwane, a low of 14 can be expected with a high of 31. Mbombela 16.34, Pretoria 13.28, Johannesburg 10 reaching a high of 25. It's sunny in Mahikeng 11 with a high of 29, Klerksdorp 9.27, Kimberley 8 with a high of 27. If you're in Bloemfontein today, 5's your minimum, 25 your maximum, Richards Bay 17.26, Pietermaritzburg 14.24, Durban 19 with a high of 24. It's partly cloudy in Mthatha 11 with a high of 21, East London 14 reaching a high of 22. Cradock 8 with a high of 24, Port Elizabeth 14 reaching a high of 21. If you're in George today, 12's your minimum, 19 your maximum, Sutherland 4 reaching a high of 18, Cape Town 12 reaching a high of 24 today, Worcester 8, 22, Springbok 8 with a high of 22, and sunny conditions in Uppington, a low of 11, a high of 28 degrees Celsius. I hope you have a fantastic Monday. We'll have a final weather update for you at 8 o'clock.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Right, well, it's your Monday morning and your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. Right now, we focus on insurance. Now, insurance, well, let's be honest, it can be an absolute minefield. But thanks to Standard Insurance Limited, we are being educated today. Now, today, we find out a little bit more about buying insurance to ensure that we are covered against all eventualities. There's so much to consider and so much to get to know. Over to you, Graham.
Next up in our series about understanding insurance, courtesy of Standard Insurance Limited, we chat more to Charmaine Scott, the head of Standard Bank Insurance Brokers, about purchasing all-important insurance. We know we have to cover ourselves, but how much consideration do we really afford this important task of getting the best cover to protect our next? How much do you know? I don't know nearly enough. So we're going to dive right in. Good morning, Charmaine. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I have to keep reiterating for myself because it's so easy to miss something in this important. You want to get a good deal, so you see a good deal, but you might miss something that could be vital in the long term. What should we be taking into consideration when comparing insurance quotes? Is it just price?
No, it's definitely not just price. And I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake. So price is important, obviously, because that's what we need to be able to afford what we're buying. But it's so critical that you also look at the features and benefits of the product you're buying and make sure you understand the exclusions. So that's what's not covered, because we assume everything's covered. Everything's not necessarily covered. And then make sure you know what the excess is that you're going to have to pay. So often, if the excess is very high, the premium's going to look great because you, as a consumer, are actually going to be paying a higher amount when there's a claim.
How much cover do you actually have? And I think it's worth also doing a bit of a self-audit of your lifestyle, of what you really need. Things like, I know in the past you've spoken about insurance or cars related, like rentals, those sorts of things. For me, that's the most important thing. I have to stay mobile, so I don't mind paying a little bit more if I know that I'm covered in that instance. It seems like there are so many ways, platforms, opportunities to be able to get a good deal, sometimes a little bewildering in that space. Where can we go to buy our insurance?
Okay, so the most traditional way of buying insurance has always been a broker, because when you go to the broker, they can actually do the shopping around for you. They can go and get the quotes, they can compare the excesses, they can present something to you so that when you buy the product, you're actually making a very informed decision. But times have changed, and people are now buying insurance online. Many insurance companies have got direct offerings, and people also like to buy insurance over the telephone because it's so much more quick and convenient than having to have a face-to-face interaction with somebody.
Maybe I'm old school, I'm an old soul. I like to have that person-to-person contact. Maybe I need to be babied through these things just a little bit. But there is something about having someone to guide you through this process so that you don't miss out anything if you're doing it in a hurry, just looking for the best deal, or someone who can actually read you in an informed way. From your perspective and your experience, why do you motivate someone? And you've been very clear that you don't have to go through a broker, but from your experience, why is it important? What are some of the real pluses for using a broker in this instance?
Okay, so if you're not going to use a broker, the unfortunate thing is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So you're going to go and shop online, and you're not necessarily going to know what to look out for, what the pitfalls are. But it can be done, and I think the more familiar you become with insurance, the more confidence you'll have to do your own shopping around. But I think the broker can give that stability to you. They can also make sure that you understand critical features of the product. As an example, that you understand that in the product you take, you might need to have your alarm switched on when you're not at home. Whereas if you buy it yourself, you might not read that clause, and then you might not realize that that's a condition of your policy. So I think the broker definitely has a role to play, and especially where people want to make sure that all their needs have been met.
I think one thing about having that interpersonal connection is you can't go back and rewrite the law in a policy. What are some of the things that people maybe that you can't do, that people assume they can just phone the broker and say, listen, this has gone wrong, I need you to go back in time and sort it out? What are some of the things people need to be aware of, just in a general sense, when buying insurance, that you as a broker, with all of your powers, can't actually go back and fix?
Such a good question. I think something we come across a lot is when there's been a material defect in the structure of the building. Because if the building then collapses, but the builder didn't adhere to building conditions, the insurance company won't pay, because they will be able to show that it's not because of a natural peril, like a fire, lightning or explosion, a storm, weather. It is actually because of a defect in the building construction. And that's probably the most difficult to explain to a customer, because it's in that moment of truth that they're expecting the claim to be paid.
So, Charmaine, thank you so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate and respect what you do in this process. So really, getting the correct short-term insurance cover is less daunting than it might seem. You've got people who can help you through that process, and we can enlist the team on hand to offer you all the guidance you need. Remember, South Africa shops smart to protect your next.
Protect your next with Standard Insurance Limited. Get up to 20% cash back on your premiums. SMS Expresso to 31492 for a quote.
Well, we are taking the quickest of breaks. When we get back, Angie Boyd is with us in studio. Whenever Angie's here, you know there's a sweet treat coming up in the kitchen. This morning, she's showing us how to make a hazelnut chocolate cheesecake.
Wow.
Oh, how amazing.
Girl, every Monday we start and then we fail. I don't know. Anyways, after the break, we're also celebrating 10 good years in the entertainment industry with none other than JR. And of course, we're showing you the exclusive first viewing of his new music video. Show them, JR. Show them.
Science reaches for the truth. Science works for the big and the small, the old and the young. Science never gives up. And science is at the heart of biology-based nutrition for differences you can see, feel, and trust. The secret to lifelong health, it all starts with science.
One, two. Close to you, wanna be close to you. I wanna be close to you. Wanna be close to you. No, 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 no. Close to you. I wanna be close to you. I wanna be close to you. Yeah, we good.
It's my feel good.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, it's been a young decade since Free State-born hip-hop sensation Thabo Bogopa Jr., better known to us as JR, released his first studio album called The Main Event. Now, the pioneer is back in a big way this year as he celebrates 10 good years in the entertainment industry. Let's first take a look at this new music video with Honda called Amaze.
It's when people can't see what I'm trying to create. What's that? Man, I'm a scheduled man, never forget. So take some dope ass pics, I got a jet. And don't be making me do some funny poses, man. I got a rep to protect, this is showbiz. I got a neck for my checks, got a gent to protect all my checks when my bank account's frozen. Wherever I go, you go follow. My whip no scorocoro. Amazing, you gonna follow. My whip no scorocoro. Wherever I go, you go follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you make a comeback. JR, everybody! Hey! Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I haven't been here in a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Huh? It has been a minute. Wow. So here you are. Brand new music video. Thank you for letting us show it for the very first time.
It's the first time, yeah.
Yeah, tell us more about this collaboration with Honda.
I mean, you know, they called me and told me that they're not fresh. They said, "Oh, we're not cool," you know. And then they said, "You know, can you make us cooler?" I said, "Yeah, for a couple of bucks, I probably can."
Okay.
And I said, "I've got a new album coming out, and it would be pretty fresh if we could do something for that." And they were like, "Okay, cool." So the new album's coming out in 2 weeks, and the video's out for Amaze, and then the album's called Love Me Now.
I love that. So you should actually also work on a caption that says, JR, make us cool again.
Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, they're probably saying that. I think they're saying we're not fresh, but JR is. I think they say we're not fresh, but he is with, you know, something like that. But yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You know what? 10 years flew by so quickly.
Yeah.
But we also missed your presence in the industry. What was the reason for taking a little bit of a hiatus?
I mean, I took some time out to kind of like work on different facets of the industry. I mean, there's too many things. You can't just be a performer, you know. I wanted to be a songwriter. I wanted to be a producer. So I took some time out to produce AKA's Levels and a couple of other albums as well. Also now, most recently, his new album, the Touch My Blood stuff, we worked on some stuff. So I took some time out to do that and also produce a little bit of content. So I've got JR's Feel Good Live sessions that's happening and everybody's loving it. So I took a bit of time out to find out what the entirety of the industry is all about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So now that you're here, you're making a comeback in a huge way. You're refreshing brands again.
Yeah.
What can your fans expect for you in this new chapter of your musical journey?
I mean, you know, I've got a band. My band is called The Cousins, and you know, I decided who better to make music with than the guys that I play with every weekend. You know, so we've got an album coming called JR and The Cousins. It's coming into the month, so look out for that one. Make sure you get that one. And yeah, so for me, that's the thing. We're trying to create a new sound and bridge the gap between the world and Africa. So I'm hoping that in some way, somehow, we can try and find a middle ground for all to coexist while still making people cool and giving my coolness to brands like this.
I love it. Now, talking about this gorgeous image of this car, this Honda brand that you're working with, don't you want to give us more detail as to how this collaboration is going to work and, of course, how the two of you are going to make this beautiful and fresh again?
I mean, for me, it's like, it's a question of, you know, create the conversation. You know what I mean? When people think JR and they think Honda, automatically that becomes a conversation on its own. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to obviously create the conversation, but I think the relationship is an organic one. You know, you're talking legacy, long term. You know, they've been around for a very long time. You know, and so by 10 years is a big milestone in the entertainment industry. You know, if you can make it 10 years, it's a big deal. So I think the synergies are there, and the music video is a start. So follow me on social pages, JR Africa, Africa met the car. I think there's Africa met the car, and then yeah, check out what's going on. We're doing some cool stuff, and the album's dropping in 2 weeks, so it's going to be awesome.
I love it. You mentioned the music video, which is true to you, is such a fun concept. Did you come up with that? Was that like a team of people that came up with exactly how you're going to incorporate the car into the music video?
Well, I wrote the song, and myself and the Cousins produced it, and the director, a guy called Lebora Sitaba, and their company Egg Films actually came up with the treatment. So we had to write the song first to be able to get the music video treatment. And they made it fun, man. They made it fun. They made it very natural. They asked for images that relate to my life. So they asked, you know, what would you rather, where would you rather be, which, you know, and how does this look like, and how does this look, so they can make it as close to my life as possible. So which is pretty awesome, you know, and I'm a fun guy. Like, I don't take myself too seriously. I put all the efforts into the music, so they did a great job with that.
What do you love most about the Honda?
You know, I like that, you know, I like that I've got one. You know, I've got the exact same model. Yeah, I've got the exact I've got this model. And another thing I like about it's like, you know, like I'm a family guy now. You know, like I've got my kid and I've got my partner. And, you know, I can like easily, you know, be with my son and not feel, you know what I mean? And I love the fact that it's so fuel efficient. And in today's economy, I'd rather drive this every single day of my life because like I can really spare a little on gas. So that is the main reason for it. Like I love it because of that.
You're swaying me because I'm in the market for a new vehicle.
Trust me, you need to get this. And the thing is, like, people in Cape Town, this will probably fly off the racks because, like, you know, y'all like drive around so often. You know what I mean? Everybody's quick here. You know, I'm from Jozi, but we're not as quick as you guys. So y'all need to get yourself this.
Okay, we'll definitely chat. Thank you so much, JR.
Thank you very much.
So
I
good to
appreciate
have you
it.
here, and thank you for sharing your brand new music video with us. Of course, that we just saw was the brand new music video for Amaze, and it was absolutely wonderful getting to see it. JR is celebrating 10 years in the industry, and what an incredible 10 years it's been. What an accomplishment, and we're looking forward to seeing greater things from him in the future.
Onward and upward. And of course, that colours our next one of our favourite. I know we say every game is our favourite, but we do love them. Guessing game right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. A little game of Guess Who, where we're going to pixelate, blur out a picture. And I would charge you to go as far away from the TV screen as you can. And you can actually kind of make it out. But of course, we will give you a couple of clues, and you share with us on our social media platforms who you think our mystery guest is.
That's
right.
right.
Give us some clues.
I'll give you the first clue is this is a South African hip-hop musician and rapper. The second clue is she confirmed last week that she is becoming a sangoma, saying it is her calling. So if you listen to our local entertainment news, you might already know who is our mystery person. And her latest single is called Ayina Chorus. I think that's a dead giveaway.
So if you think you know, if you're busy Googling as we speak, go and share on her posts a couple of likes as well, because we absolutely love her. But you can let us know who our hashtag mystery guest is. At Expresso Show, as always, is the handle to use. You might have noticed me go like, because I've just seen now what's coming up next, a hazelnut chocolate cheesecake. Oh, my word.
Right, so kitchen time. If there's one thing we do not want to blur out, it is these beautiful guys. Just look at this. So if you are nuts about chocolate and mad about cheesecake, then stick around, because Angie Boyd is going to show us how to make these delectable little chocolate cheesecake ensemble thingies. Hello, Angie. Hello. Yes. I don't know how else to call them. They look beautiful.
Yeah, well,
and delicious at that.
They are. Chocolate and hazelnut.
You know?
Classic combination.
Can't go wrong with that.
I love that combo.
And I mean, this is something, if you can make this, I mean, you are going to be the talk of town.
Yes.
You can even sell these, you know, if you don't eat them beforehand.
If you don't eat them all beforehand.
Listen, Angie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. This looks delicious. I'm a big fan of cheesecake.
Me too.
Hazelnuts, apparently here we have the ones, the blanched ones from Woolworths you're going to be using, which is also packed full of flavour, buttery as well.
And they're good for you as well.
And they're good for you, so you're going to have a smooth experience. We can tell like that.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
So.
Right. So we've got made tiny little ones because they are very rich. They're not terribly sweet. There's not a lot of sugar in the recipe.
Yeah.
So they're lovely and chocolatey and hazelnutty, which is the point.
Chocolatey and
hazelnutty.
hazelnutty.
So what we've done is we've made, and it's already been done, we've got a tin, and you can use any tin you like, whatever you've got handy.
Okay.
And we've made a hazelnut pastry.
Right.
So it's just a normal short pastry that we've put some ground hazelnuts into.
Okay.
Roll it out, line your tin, bake it blind. Off we go. So that's sitting on the side.
So we got this going. Okay, we will sort you out with the recipe. Don't worry. The keyword is woolworths.co.za or woolworths.233728. Just gave you the website. But yeah, just woolworths.233728 if you want to get your hands on that recipe. So Angie, let's put the filling together.
The filling. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a very quick hazelnut praline. So normally a praline would be made with caramelized sugar.
Okay.
But now we're going to do a quicker version. So we're just going to toast our hazelnuts.
Okay, in some butter.
In a little bit of butter, and then we're going to add honey. So nice organic honey would be great. So you're getting a little bit of sweetness here.
Right.
And we're going to cook this down. So it takes a lot shorter than doing the whole caramelized sugar and worrying about whether it crystallizes and all of that jazz.
Yes.
So we just bubble this down. We're basically looking to get some colour on those nuts. So we want them to be lovely and golden brown.
Right.
And we're just going to reduce the honey down a little bit. I think I've got it on the right speed.
Yep, you got it right there.
So it's just going to bubble down. The honey's going to go a little bit darker and more caramelly, and then that'll help it just set a bit.
Okay.
So we're going to leave that for a second.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that.
In the meantime, we've got our filling. So it's a version of a ganache, so it's like a chilled cheesecake.
Okay, so what have you got here?
So we've got some lovely 70% dark chocolate, which is the one we want, because there's very little sugar and it's lovely and chocolatey.
Yes.
And we've added some hot cream, so it's equal quantities of chopped dark chocolate and some cream, which we've heated up, so it's lovely and
so the chocolate, you just kind of throw it into the hot cream, it'll melt down
and
nicely.
it melts. It actually, you just leave it to stand like we did, and then it melts so beautifully.
Look how nicely that
and it looks all velvety.
Yes.
Just keeping half an eye on the nuts over there. And then we've got some cream cheese here, some nice medium fat to full fat cream cheese.
Right.
And it's, again, 250. So we've got 250, 250, 250, super easy to remember.
Got it.
And then we're going to add our ganache into the cream cheese, and we just do it a little at a time to
So we start mixing this then.
You're going to mix that. I'm checking.
All right, here we go.
Here.
Once again, that keyword is Woolworths. SMS that to 33728 to get your hands on an ingredients list as well as a link to the recipe. It will also be on our website, expressoshow.com, a little bit later on.
Right, so
look at that filling.
The rest of it, so we can add all of this together.
Yeah, and the rest you can leave for me to kind of just lick
lick
out
the bowl.
afterwards. Yeah,
that's the best part. We add a little frangelico liqueur because it is a hazelnut thing.
Ah, there we
and
go.
That's a hazelnut liqueur, so it just adds a pop of flavour.
Yeah, but look how decadent this looks, eh?
No, you want to use the whisk.
Wow, let's use
I
a
always
whisk.
find that when in doubt, use a whisk because then you have no lumps.
That's it. Much easier.
Much easier.
There we go.
Right, so the hazelnuts are lovely and toasty, and we're going to pour them out onto some non-stick paper.
All right.
And that'll take about 10, 15 minutes just to set and cool, and then this will become crunchy.
Yeah.
Then we take either in a food processor or a sharp knife or one of those things, and you're going to chop it up into a fine powder.
Yeah.
And then that's your praline, which will fold into this.
Brilliant.
Can't do it now because
no,
it's too hot.
No, it's too hot. So you just kind of crumble it then when it's done.
Crumble almost all of it into this filling, and then you pour your filling into the shell.
And that sets.
And then that's going to set in the fridge.
Mm.
And then once it's set, I just made small slices because it's incredibly rich.
Yeah. But of course, you can go big.
You can go big, huge slices if you want to.
Brilliant. So just like that, sets in the fridge?
Just like that, sets in the fridge, and it doesn't take long, maybe about an hour or so to set.
Yeah.
And then you've got a lovely, rich and decadent chocolate cheese.
And look at that, and you drizzle it with some nice little chocolate to make it look all fancy, just like you, and then crumble that praline over.
Exactly.
Just like that.
Serve it with some creme fraiche, because that's really brilliant.
Yes.
Or some fresh berries.
Fresh. That berries
would just cut through the richness.
Absolutely. Angie, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
You can see why you are professional at doing this. The keyword is Woolworths. SMS that to 33728. Now, if you're a flexitarian, vegetarian or vegan, or if you're just considering adding some more fruit and veg in your diet, make sure to check out the Woolworths plant-based Digimag online for recipes or even just tips and tricks to make your plant-based journey a little bit more simple and delicious, and of course sustainable as well. But for this recipe, SMS the keyword Woolworths to 33728. Angie, thank you very, very much for sharing.
Pleasure.
Not my go-to breakfast, but you know, I'll take it.
It's my go-to.
I'll take it. You know what? There's nuts in there. It's great. It's healthy. It's absolutely amazing. Woolworths to 33728.
Well, we are taking the quickest of breaks. So when we get back, Dr. Eve is with us in studio, and we're talking about, has a loved one come out to you? How can you handle and process the news, but most importantly, show the support that they need when they came out to you? So we'll have that conversation. Our lines will be open. It's 021-430-9881.
Then we're going to get another absolute classic from this superstar stood beside me, one of the most humble guys we've had on our studio floor, and probably one of the most acclaimed. So I'll give you another clue. I thought it was a Carpenter song, but I hear that it wasn't. It was actually originally written by Burt Bacharach. You can go and search and hopefully give us a clue at Expresso Show. Let us know what song you think this legend is going to perform. We'll see you in a moment.
So when can I expect? Must figure choose. Ah, God. Let's work.
Yes. Okay.
Clap it.
Okay, I heard you. Clap a bit. did. It's a gelly clamp, bro. Yes. Let's do another one, yeah? Okay. Okay. Tabiso says, give us a link, please.
Thank you, team in studio. That's right. I am out live in Hammanskraal today with the team at Lifeboy because we're celebrating educating the 700,000th learner in South Africa on hygiene. Woo. Must I stop? Because I'm hearing myself.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I'm not going to prattle on. Welcome back. Time for another stellar performance from a superstar and one of the coolest guys we've hosted in a long time. Jonathan Butler is here with another standard. It is Close to You.
No, 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 no. La 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 la. Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, belong to be close to you. Why do stars fall from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, belong to be close to you. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and started to create a dream come true. And they sprinkle moon dust in your hair, starlight in your eyes, the skies went blue. Oh, love, la 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 la, close to you. Oh, I sing la 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 la. Oh, close to you. That is why all the guys in town follow you all around, just like me. Baby, 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 belong to be close to you. Oh, I said on the day that you were born, the angels got together, started to create a dream come true. And they sprinkle moon dust in your hair, starlight in your eyes, the skies went blue. Ooh, I say, la 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 la. I wanna be close to you, close to you. I say, ooh, la 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 la. I wanna be close to you, close to you. I sing la 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 la, close to you. Sing la 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 la, close to you.
Get a little closer. This morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa handed over more than 4,000 hectares of land to the Kwa Mkwanazi community in Mpangeni in northern KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. The Minister of Energy, Jeff Radebe, will head up the panel, which will select the new National Director of Public Prosecutions. On the international front, 7 senior Kenyan officials will be charged over alleged corruption surrounding the 2016 Olympic Games. Those accused include Kip Keino, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. And finally, Britain and the US are considering boycotting a major international conference in Saudi Arabia after the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Wrapping up those major sporting headlines, Bafana moved to the top of Group E in their AFCON qualifying campaign thanks to a 6-0 drubbing of the Seychelles in Soweto on Saturday. A little further afield, the 2010 World Cup winners Germany are still in search of their first victory in the UEFA Nations League as they suffered a crushing 3-0 loss to Netherlands on Saturday. In cricket, the Proteas have completed a 2-0 series win over Zimbabwe. It was after yesterday's third test in Benoni was abandoned due to rain. And finally, the final group stage round of the 2018 Currie Cup took place this weekend. And it sees Province, Sharks, Lions and Bulls all moving through to the semi-finals. That's a wrap of your sport for this morning.
Just after 8 o'clock, let's quickly take a last look as to what's happening out on the roads for your Monday morning, starting in Gauteng Midrand. On the N1 northbound, there's been an accident before the Buccleuch interchange. Traffic is backed up from Marlborough to Centurion. Please allow for some extra travel time this morning. And in Cape Town Bellville, there's congestion on the N1 inbound. That's between Durban Road and Kuburg Road. You can expect a 25-minute delay with an average speed of around 25 kilometers per hour. Just please take note of that as well. And if you are still heading out on the roads, please drive with care. That's what we have for you in terms of your traffic this morning. Getting straight into your weather for the very last time this morning. And we've seen some amazing pictures sent in by some of you, our viewers. Thank you very, very much for sharing what it looks like in your parts of the world. Would like to take this opportunity to say thank you. So a big thank you to Carol van der Merwe for your sunrise picture from Umhlanga, Dazi Makaringe for your grey skyline from Bushbuck Ridge in Mpumalanga, as well as Ashwin Akim for your cloudy skyline picture all the way from Parkwood here in Cape Town. And lastly, Khomotso Manyoni for this amazing sunrise from Villa Lisa and the East Rand. Beautiful, beautiful pictures this morning. Thank you very much for sending in. We'll continue sharing those pictures again with you tomorrow morning. With regards to your temperatures going into your Monday, Polokwane starting off on 14, reaching a high of 31 degrees. Mbombela 16, 34, nice and hot today. Pretoria 13, 28, Johannesburg 10, 25, Mahikeng 11, 29, Klerksdorp 9, 27, Kimberley 8, 27, Bloemfontein 5, 25, Richards Bay 17, 26, Pietermaritzburg 14, 24, Durban 19, 24, Mthatha starting off on 11 minimum this morning, your maximum 21, East London 14, 22, Cradock 8 and a half, 24, Port Elizabeth 14, 21, George 12 and a half, 19 with the chance of some scattered showers. Sutherland 4 this morning, nice and cool, staying chilly with a maximum 18 degrees. Cape Town 12, 20, Worcester 8, 22, Springbok also 8, 22, and Uppington starting off on 11, reaching a high of 28 degrees. And that's a wrap of your weather as well as your traffic for your Monday morning.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Well, we are kickstarting the morning, certainly the healthy way, and we're about to take a quick break. When we get back, Dr. Eve joins us in studio. It's all about asking you whether a loved one has recently come out to you in commemoration of Coming Out Day that took place last week, Thursday and Friday. Our lines will be open for that chat. It's 021-430-9881.
Talking about a day, it's also hand washing day, and we're going to be catching up with Thabiso, who's all the way in Johannesburg, and because he loves a donut so much, Princess, please can I have a donut? I'll eat it on his behalf before we catch up with Thabiso on World Hand Washing Day. Oh, thank you.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso, and you're just in time for a very important conversation. In fact, one that started last week when we had Craig Lucas on the show, who very admirably has opened up about his own coming out journey and spoke very much about how his family have supported him, all of his massive fears, and as you can imagine, there are a lot of fears and baggage attached to this. But it also coincided with Thursday and Friday being the coming out day, actually, that is celebrated. I'm going to say celebrated because this is an important, vital milestone for those that are indeed coming out. So we're going to continue that conversation today. Dr. Eve now joins us for that. It was such an awesome discussion last week. So thank you so much to you and to Kat and, of course, to Craig as well for being so generous and open with that.
Having that conversation. It's definitely an important conversation to also have. So this morning, we are asking you the question, has a loved one recently come out to you? How do you process that information but still continue to love that person for who they are? And of course, our lines are open. That number is 021-430-9881. We understand it's also a very loaded topic, so feel free to stay anonymous if you would wish to do so, but we would love to hear from you. Dr. Eve,
hi,
good
Zoe.
to have you.
Nice to be here.
This one, I think I'm going to kick it right off and ask, because obviously as a friend, as a family member, if you have suspicions, sounds awful, but if you think that someone close to you, possibly a family member, is in fact gay, how do you broach that subject with them? Because we want the best for them. I would feel with the amount that I talk, I'm going to just blurt it out there, but that's not our right. That's not our job to do that. How do we approach that person? Is that a simple question?
It's not a simple question. The point of the matter is that people may be coming out to you, or you may be suspicious that somebody is gay. You've got to be really sensitive and respectful around that. I also want to broaden the discussion that we're not just talking about young people, because that was Craig's experience. I'm also wanting to talk to people, to our viewers, who perhaps are living with somebody who they feel may be gay. They may be married to a man or to a woman who they feel may be gay or even transgender. So we're inviting you to join us in this discussion as well. Whether you have a teenager, whether you have a young adult, or whether you have a partner who you think is coming out or may want to come out to you, we want to hear from you. How do you feel about it and how do you manage it? So I want to put it into a context of why it's so difficult and why we even need to have this conversation, because there's a part of me that feels we shouldn't be having this conversation. But I'm also not naive around the incredible dangers and stigma that do exist for people who are wanting to come out. Up until 1987, homosexuality was classified as a mental illness, as a mental disease. Only then was it taken out of what's called the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, in 1987. So we've only had a very few years to actually destigmatize this as a mental illness. What used to happen back in the day was something called reparation or conversion therapy. And it still happens today, especially in some kind of religious environments and in psychological therapeutic environments. But it is completely illegal for this to be happening. If I, as a practitioner, were to be caught trying to convert somebody out of being gay and turn them into straight, I would be struck off my own record. I wouldn't be able to practice anymore. But it does happen. And I'm saying this so that we understand the gravitas of somebody who's coming out to you, and for you as a loved one, how you should be treating them, how you should be respectful of that information or that suspicion that you have when somebody decides to come out to you. It's really imperative, and we're going to talk further about what is the impact of that on the person's health, because that's where it hurts the most.
Oh, well, we heard Craig talk. He used the words, "I'm going to die if I don't get this out." So we're going to leave the discussion there for now.
That's right. Our lines remain open. Please remain anonymous if you feel so. That number is 021-430-9881. We'll be back with Dr. Eve shortly.
Well, as the world's best-selling trusted germ protection soap, Lifebuoy is committed to hygiene education to prevent the spread of diseases like diarrhea and pneumonia that claim the lives of 1.4 million children under the age of 5 each year. Now, we are crossing over to Abiso in Hammanskraal outside of Pretoria to find out more.
That's right, team. We are coming to you live from Hammanskraal at St. Camilla's Primary School with the team from Lifebuoy. They are here celebrating, educating the 700,000th South African school child about hygiene and hand washing. And standing right next to me here is Casey Lee, who is the brand manager of Lifebuoy. Casey Lee, this is such an important thing that we're doing here today, educating school children about hygiene and hand washing on Global Hand Washing Day. Why are we here with Lifebuoy?
Hello, Tabiso. Thank you so much. We are super excited to be here today at St. Camilla's Primary School. We are celebrating the 10th Global Hand Washing Day here in South Africa. And really, we're here to celebrate hand washing and the importance thereof with Lifebuoy.
Well, not only have you educated the children today about the importance of hygiene and washing their hands, but you've also left them with something quite special. What have you left them here with?
So today we are leaving them with some permanent wash stations around the school, and the reason for that is it's important to help them reinforce the habit of hand washing. So we're super excited to be handing those over to them today.
Well, it goes without saying that hygiene is, incredibly important. But how important is hand washing and teaching children from a young age?
So I'm not sure if every South African knows that pneumonia and diarrhea are very, very big diseases that children face under the age of 5, and the simple act of hand washing can eradicate these diseases. And so that's why it's really, really important that we teach this message, especially to children under 5, and it's important for everyone, but especially that age group.
Casey Lee, what an important and really exciting initiative you've got here in partnership with the Department of Basic Education. I mean, I know that you have been working quite closely with them on their National Schools Hygiene and Sanitation Program. But I'm here all morning, and we're going to be catching up with Casey Lee and everybody else, so stay tuned on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Well, that's so right. We're going to be catching up with Tabiso a little bit later on as we celebrate Global Hand Washing Day.
Well, we are taking the quickest of breaks. When we get back, we're going to spend some time in the kitchen whipping up a fish burger.
And then the importance of washing your hands as well. It might seem simple, but we all have to be reminded of that. Then if you are in a family where you suspect that you have a family member, possibly a child who is going to come out, give us a call, 021-430-9881. We have got some really, really important advice for you.
This coming Thursday on Winner Home, it's a last-minute scramble as the design duos work towards completing their second challenge.
This looks like chaos.
I'm just hoping it comes together.
With 2 bathrooms to design and decorate in only 2 weeks, will they finish on time? And will the judges be blown away by their unique spaces?
Wow.
Watch all the design drama unfold with Winner Home, Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3. The stage is yours. Winner Home, proudly brought to you by Capitec and Private Property, with Samsung products designed for your connected lifestyle. Grand Prize Luxury Penthouse Apartment by Bowen Properties.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso, and you're right in the middle of an incredibly interesting conversation, one that started last week and one we are continuing right now. Today specifically, we are talking to family members, people who think that they are possibly, that they have a loved one or someone really close to them, possibly a partner in marriage that they think is gay, and how we handle, are we supportive, do we map this incredibly tricky phase of any relationship? 021 430 9881. Please give us a call. You're more than welcome to be anonymous, but we'd love to hear messages of support as well. Dr. Eve, this is
support. It's very
such an interesting topic. Yeah.
That's right. Well, Dr. Eve, help us understand if a loved one has, written a letter or called you or sat you down to disclose their sexuality with you. What do you, as the person receiving the news, need to understand about what that person had to go through in order to come out?
Right. So there are a few rules that I suggest people follow if somebody or when somebody discloses to you. The first one is just to listen. And that sounds simple, Zoe, but it's not. It's a big ask because your heart is pounding, your blood pressure is rising, and you really feel incredibly unsettled and what's called emotionally dysregulated. You're really thrown into a shocked state. And what I'm suggesting or I'm recommending is just listen. Just be present with that person and just listen to what they have to say so that you understand. Because this person has taken years, probably, in preparing the speech to you. So give them the respect of just listening. And the second thing that you want to do is ask questions. Ask questions to them about what this means, explain it to me, what's been going on for you, and then, very importantly, offer support. Say to them, I'm struggling with it, I'm shocked by this, I need time around this, but I want you to know that I'm here to support you, and tell me what you need from me. Give me some guidance as to how I can support you. And as I said last week on the show, there are groups for parents because parents do struggle. Many parents do struggle. And there are support groups for parents at organizations like Gala in Johannesburg, Triangle Project here in Cape Town, where you can, as a parent, join other communities of parents and get the support that you need.
Yeah.
The things that you don't want to do, you don't want to get mad. You don't want to throw the Bible at this person, and you don't want to send the person for counseling because you're implying
unless they ask for it or ask for help.
They're mad. They're mad or they're bad. They're not. They're sad. So really, you have to learn to contain yourself. I see you struggling just to breathe.
Sorry, Zoe, because
and I know that you're not a prejudicial or stigmatizing person.
For me, because I always try to put myself in the place of someone who's going through this, and intuitively, as a parent or a sibling, there is love, there is support. Even if this comes from completely on the wrong side of your spectrum, you are going to be able to put yourself in an empathetic place, hopefully, as a loving family member. What if you're a partner? What if you are a husband or wife who has been lied to for your entire life? As much as you understand the prejudice and the pressures, how do you then pause and listen when you have to go through this?
I really like that angle, and I like the fact that you are feeling shocked by it or ambivalent around it, because the first thing that you are going to feel, as you said, is a sense of betrayal to myself. I have been duped. I have been put into a marriage, or I have children with this person, and why wasn't I told? So your first response is going to be incredible anger and self-pity and rejection of this person, or feeling, as I say, a sense of enormous betrayal. Why was I put into this situation? So don't expect to feel immediate empathy or calmness. You're not. You're going to be completely inflamed and maybe even enraged when you initially hear about this. And that's why the person probably married you, because they expect society is going to stigmatize and discriminate so badly that they have to normalize themselves by getting into a heterosexist relationship with all the consequences that come along with it. And one thing that we know is that when you are not heterosexual, or you are not normatively heterosexist in your gender or in your sexual orientation, you live in fear. There is a huge risk to people who do not come out. So I have no blame or shame of people who choose to marry into a heterosexist environment because of the enormous pain and prejudice that happens if they were coming out. That seems to be offered. Exactly. But it doesn't, I mean, it's going to explode at some point or another.
Okay. Well, we are going to continue our conversation with Dr. Eve shortly. Our lines remain open. Give us a call. That number is 021 4309881.
Well, up next, we are going to be making a delicious fish patty recipe. It can be used to make some really scrumptious fish burgers for the whole family. Now, this fish patty, canola oil and mayonnaise are all very high in omega-3s, which of course helps everyone in the family to get their intake of those essential fatty acids to see us all in good stead for the busy time ahead. And that's what it's about. It's about being delicious, but it's also about being nutritional and giving us everything we need.
And you know, I'm guilty of not eating enough fish. I really am,
This is true. I am one of those people as well. So what are our ingredients today besides the amazing canola oil, which is the healthier option with only 7% saturated fat compared to, of course, sunflower with 12% and then olive oil with 15%.
Absolutely. So we got our goodness in the oil already.
Yes.
So what we've done is we've got some hake, which is a nice soft fish. We also know that you get good essential oils and vitamins through it as well. So we've blanched it in hot water, and we've got some turmeric in there as well. That's where the colour comes from. Boil it through, and then you kind of drain the liquid and you can flake it.
Okay.
All right. So hake is one of those fish that kind of flakes easily.
Yes.
So that's where we're going to form your patty. That's step number one. Then we've got a nice and hot pan over here. Got some Be Well canola oil. That goes in there as well. And what we want to do now is fry off the rest of the ingredients. So I've got some onions.
Okay.
Wait for the sizzle. Yes.
Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
Righto. So we're going to do that. This is very easy because, I mean, a fish patty needs to have a bit of onion in there as well. But we're going to zhuzh it up even more because we got some chili.
Nice.
We like chili.
Yes.
We like chili.
Bring some spice into our lives.
We got some ginger.
Yeah.
That's going to go in there as well. All right.
Nice.
Let's just get that through. And if you don't mind, we got some spice over there. We got some garam masala and some smoked paprika as well.
Want me to add that?
Add it in there. Bam, go for it.
And this is, of course, to unlock the the flavor of the spice.
Absolutely. And
Love
you'll
it.
see, just soak that up. So you
While
can
you're
get
busy doing that, some interesting information that canola oil is actually also endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa, and it's the only, Ewan, it's the only cooking oil in South Africa to carry the Cancer Smart Choices seal. Did you know that?
I did know that. It's
amazing. And of course, this is due to the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio 2:1.
Right.
Loving it.
So that's going to go there. Now, I'm just going to take this off the heat for a second. I'm going to swap these two around very quickly. This one. So we wait for this to cool down just a little bit.
The aromas.
Now, so we've got our fish here. So what we have here is we have some mash.
Yes.
It's going to go in there as well. And some breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And this is going to kind of bind everything together. Let me just pop this on the side. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Right.
Look at you. You're just so, like, you know, hands-on.
Get in there.
Hands
Get in
on.
there. So this is now how you make your patty. You get this there. And then we get our mixture over here.
Okay. I feel like I should be doing something, but then again, I
Stand
feel like
and
you
look.
just got everything sorted.
Stand and look.
All right.
So that goes in there as well.
Nice.
Bam, just like that. All right. And now we mix it through. So now, because the onions and the spices and everything is still hot, you want to make sure that this mixture cools down nicely, all right? So give it a good mix through, and then you form your patty like we've done over there. All right, so here's where you get your hands dirty, you get in there, and you form that patty. So you can make it obviously as thick or thin as you want.
And
Just keep in mind-
I prepared this one for us earlier.
You did an amazing job. So what I'm going to do now is use some more of our oil. Now we're just going to fry off this patty very quickly.
All right.
Okay, so
While
here we
you're
go.
frying that off, of course, we now know that canola oil is naturally cholesterol-free, very high in omega-3s, and it's got that great velvety, buttery taste that we all know and love. And if you would like this recipe, all you have to do is SMS the keyword "Be Well"
Be well.
to 33728. We'll
And
gladly send you the ingredients list and the link to the recipe, and you could be making this yourself.
And you can be well. You can be well.
You
as
can
well.
be well.
So
I
you can
see
be
what you
well.
did there.
So basically, because everything is cooked already, so
Yeah.
it's not you don't have to cook it through. You just want to give it a bit of a char on the outside. You know,
Yes.
just get a bit of a nice crispiness to it. Just the potato in there might just stick to the pan a little bit, but just get it in there. It's all good. So we're going to fry this off a little bit.
So
and
while
once
you're frying
done,
that off, I would, of course, also like to add some Be
Please
Well
do.
canola mayo.
That's it. Yes, don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Honey, I am never shy, child.
Good. We've got
about
some
that
rocket that we're going to go with there, tomatoes, so it's going to be a very, very fresh kind of burger. And be honest, the last time you had a fish burger, when was this?
I have
Hey?
not had a fish burger in the longest time.
You
I'm going to be
see
honest with
now,
you, but
you
I'm going to have
see
one now.
That's it. You're going to have one now, so I'm just going to see what this one looks like. You'll see it gets nice and golden brown on the outside, just like that. And for TV purposes, I will put this on And I'll show you because everything is cooked. So basically you want to heat everything through right now.
Yes.
And then bam, let's get it on there. Just like that. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. There we go, got it.
And Bob is your uncle.
Bob is your uncle, indeed. And
we
Bob will
go.
enjoy that burger as well.
Be well to 33728. You could be making this delicious fish patty burger. Tonight, it'll feed the whole family. Plus, it's healthy and nutritious all at the same time.
And it's a mouthful. There we go.
Go team.
Bam.
So we're continuing our relationship chat this morning. Someone that is close to you, possibly a child, possibly your partner, your husband, your wife has just come out. How do we handle this situation? How do we offer our support and feel supported ourselves through this process? Dr. Eve is here to answer the very burning questions.
That's right. Well, Dr. Eve, earlier you were talking through, you know, what to do when that individual discloses their sexuality with you. I love that you say ask questions. Ask questions like, how can I show that I am supporting you? What do you want from me to show my support? But you also said ask questions, but I can imagine there are certain questions that shouldn't be asked. What are some of the questions to stay clear of, and what are the ones that are okay to ask?
So the questions not to ask is anything that's going to make that child or person feel shamed or feel blamed or feel it's their responsibility. Or like, where did you get it from? You couldn't have got it from your mother or your father. It isn't something that we passed on to you. Or what does that mean if you're a morphe? Does that mean that you're having sex in a certain way? So to be always associated with sexuality, which of course it isn't. This is about a sexual orientation. This is about who you love, who you're attracted to.
Not other people, yeah.
It's not about just the physical act of sex, and people seem to cling on to that, and they feel very afraid of that. So that's something you definitely don't want to ask somebody. It's very private and very intimate. It's got nothing to do with the sexual orientation. And also, you know, where are you doing it, and why didn't you tell us beforehand, and why have you kept this a secret from us? I mean, those are things you really don't want to be asking. And then the worst thing is when you're kicking your child out the house, because we know that we being clinicians, or just from research, that the more support the child gets, the healthier the child will be. And there are enormous health risks to people who are coming out, or rather people who don't come out have got other health risks, as we heard last week from Craig.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, the statistics are really awful. About 1/3 of people who are coming out contemplate committing suicide, and 1/5 of them actually attempt to commit suicide. 10% of gay, lesbian, bisexual people are denied access to health services, and 30% of transgender individuals are denied access to health services. Sure. We know that people who are coming out or who are minorities, they have increased risk of poverty, because there are so many economic discriminations against them. They have a higher risk of isolation, social isolation, a higher risk of substance abuse, of alcohol abuse, and of mental illness. So do you want to be a parent who puts that child at risk, or do you want to be a parent who's kind of going to take care of themselves and their own sense of awkwardness and discomfort and really embrace your child because you want them to be healthy? This is a huge physical and mental health risk to anyone who is not heterosexist. Come on, people.
And do you want to lose your child forever, bottom line?
Yes.
So we've got Jonathan now joining us on the line from Bloemfontein. Jonathan, thank you so much for weighing in. What's your comment or question?
Yes, I just want to find out, good morning. My father and mother got divorced 3 years ago, and my father's now come out as gay. So how do us as the children cope with this situation?
Well, I'm curious to know from you, how did you feel? Was it a shock for you, or was it something that you were suspicious about?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I mean, we always had male friends over at the house, but it wasn't ever like an obvious thing to us.
So how are you feeling about it right now?
I think only time can heal it, but yeah, it's just one of these things that we have to live with, I guess. I mean, that's his decision, and we need to support him in that.
And what was your attitude towards gay people before your dad came out? Were you somebody who was kind of tolerant, or were you always quite stigmatizing?
No, I was fine. I mean, growing up in this day and age, it's something that we are, you know, it's a common occurrence in the country, so yes.
Thank you so much for weighing in. We're going to let Dr. Eve kind of give you some very practical advice and steps here, and I think a lot of families are going through what you're going through right now, so it's certainly not an anomaly. But we We're going to wrap this up now, so we'll give you an opportunity to really weigh in there. I mean, I just hearing the tone, you get a sense that there is a certain amount of resistance. And, I like the fact that we are hearing support, but it's a very difficult thing. So how do we do this? And this is the one relationship we haven't actually spoken about for a parent.
Yeah, you're right. This is quite a shocking thing to get your head around, because now you've got to recalibrate your brain into seeing your father. But, I mean, do you? Do you really? Okay, so it's like, I'm used to having a mom and a dad. You still have a mom and a dad, but now your dad is going to be in relationships with men or engaging with men, and you may have to deal with the social stigma and explaining to your own children, what does this really mean? And I think, Graham, that this is a beautiful opportunity for this person or the siblings to be able to talk to their children and to themselves around diversity. Yeah. We want to be teaching that to everybody. And as I think it was Jonathan was saying, in this day and age, there is much more acceptance and conversation. And especially like right here, I mean, who would have imagined 5 years ago that we would be talking about this on television? There is an acceptance, there's a tolerance around it. Use it as an opportunity to educate yourself and your children to tolerate.
Yeah, Dr. Eve, we have one more caller from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Nokatulo.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. What's your comment or question for Dr. Eve?
My comment is that my brother came out like 3 years back, and it wasn't such a bad thing because he was scared because our parents are old, but they were like, there's nothing we can do. We see this on TV, we know this. We know that you're born like that. There's nothing that we could change. But what I'm hating is that how we as heterosexual people are forcing the LGBTIQ family to come out, but we don't have to come out.
I'm going to do it right now. I've got something to reveal. I am straight. I know a lot of people have suspected it for a while, but I am. Nokatulo, I absolutely love what you were saying. Yeah, there were so many beautiful little triggers there about how supportive they're being about, and it is very difficult for an older generation to accept this. But this is how you're born. This is who you are.
She was saying that, right? But she was also saying that she's quite grateful that her parents are old and don't have to deal with that, and I want to respect that. This is something which is very challenging for older people who are not used to it, who haven't normalized this as we have as younger people in society today. So thank you for that, and I hope that this is something that the rest of your community will see, so that your brother does not get harmed by the community or in his own community where he chooses to be living.
Yeah, well, Dr. Eve, it's certainly been a wonderful topic this morning, one that we will definitely need to continue in the future.
Think so, Zoe.
But Dr. Eve, always great to have you here.
Thank you.
Of course, people can connect with Dr. Eve on social media if you perhaps have another question for her.
Thank you so much to everyone who weighed in as well, Nokatulo. We absolutely love the sentiments there. And please post any questions that you have if you want this conversation to continue right here on Expresso. You guys drive that conversation, so let us know. But thank you, Doc. Awesome.
Well, today we're talking about the importance of washing your hands as we celebrate Global Hand Washing Day.
Absolutely, and after the break, we are still blessed to be with this man, Jonathan Butler, live on your Pure Go Breakfast Show. Stick around for another epic performance from this man after the break. Stick around.
Add a little goodness to your day, your friend's day, and make your school's year as the Crush Share the Goodness campaign returns. Last year, the Crush crew gave away 10,000 pairs of shoes to school children across South Africa. By watching Expresso from spring through the summer and refreshing yourself with your favorite Clover Crush flavor, you stand daily chances of winning for yourself, your friends, and school. Details to follow on Expresso.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. What do you get when you fall in love? Girl with a pin to bust your bubble. That's what you get for all your troubles. I'll never fall in love again. I'll never fall in love with love again. I think we're good. What do you get when you kiss a girl? Get enough germs to catch pneumonia. So if you do, she'll never phone you. I'll never fall in love again.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, a place for everything, and everything in its place is a good way to start. But of course, keeping it like that is another story, or like, especially you will know that because you're a dad of 2 kids. Well, we are sorting out the kids' playroom. And of course, we have some really interesting ideas to share with you. Now, obviously, before you can start, you need to have those trusted cleaners close at hand because you're going to need them.
Exactly.
So here we are with all the tips that you need to make Mac wash day so much easier.
Day.
Everything day.
Clutter-free day, yes. So we'll run you through our hero ingredients first and foremost. We'll start off with Mac dishwashing liquid. It's the best performing dishwashing liquid on the market. It has a high active foam formula combined with the power of lemon to cut grease, remove food residue, and leave everything thoroughly clean and fresh smelling. Now, in a recent Home Tester Club survey, 97% of the people surveyed said that they would switch to Mac dishwashing liquid, and that is a vote of confidence for sure. Then, Mac multi-purpose cream cleaner contains an effective detergent and a soft abrasive to easily lift dirt and stubborn stains, leaving surfaces shiny clean without scratching. And also, Mac multi-purpose thick bleach combines the cleaning power of a detergent with the germ-killing action of bleach to clean, remove odors, and disinfect, giving you 24 hours germ protection. Now, keeping the kids' room clean, tidy, and clutter-free is a mission. Trust me, I know. Remember, the less stuff that's cluttering up the space, the easier it is to clean and disinfect. Now, the kids' playroom should be cleaned regularly to keep dust and mites at bay, because dust can cause respiratory problems, and mites are definitely not healthy. So, let's get going with some easy-to-implement ideas.
Exactly. Okay, so if your child aspires to be the next Picasso, as many of them do, especially when it comes to the walls at home, and they decide to write on the walls, and he wants to produce his masterpieces like this, then there is some need-to-know ways, of course, of removing these works of art. And it's a simple wipe over with a strong solution of Mac cream cleaner in warm water to leave your walls pristine. Now, tiled floors need a regular and thorough clean to remove paint splashes, Play-Doh, and so much more. All you do is squirt neat Mac cream cleaner onto stubborn, stuck-on stains and leave for a short while before wiping away with a shiny clean. Now, carpet stains are a completely different issue, but you need to make up a strong solution of Mac dishwash liquid. Work up a good foam, and using a very firm brush, work the foam into the stain without over-wetting the carpet. Then all you simply do is allow it to dry and then brush vigorously to remove any trace of the foam. And of course, toys are quite unhygienic as well, right?
Exactly, if you think about it. And that's toys, I mean, they go everywhere. Now, apart from the fact that they are dragged around the house and out in the garden, they're also exposed to cold and other germs when kids come to play. So, our tip number 3, these are washable makeup solutions of Mac dishwashing liquid. You do that in the warm water and soak the toys for about 30 minutes. The Mac dishwash contains an active detergent and the power of a lemon to thoroughly remove greasy dirt. Then rinse thoroughly and add a few drops of Mac thick bleach to the final rinse, and do that with water. And then you also rinse your toys and lay it to dry. Just like that. It's actually quite easy.
Exactamundo. Now, these are mostly machine washable. Check the label on the toy and follow the instructions for best results. We also suggest that you place the toys in a pillow slip before loading them into your machine. It'll keep them all together, right? Also use Mac Auto or Mac hand wash powder to thoroughly clean, remove stains, and restore the toys to their former glory. Reduce the spin cycle, place the toys on a towel, and dry.
Just
Simple
like
as that.
that. I didn't actually know you could do that, eh?
Yep.
So, another tip are building blocks and Lego pieces, the bane of your life. Yes, you step at them and step on them
That's
early
the worst.
mornings. The worst. But to keep them clean and thoroughly clean at that, soak for at least 30 minutes in a rich solution of MAC dishwashing liquid. Give them a good scrub with a nail brush, then rinse thoroughly and add a few drops of MAC thick bleach to the final rinse to disinfect and leave them hygienically clean. Then rinse and allow to dry.
Exactly. Now, how about those storing toys? Shoe pockets on hangers provide an easily accessible, soft space for toys, and especially those small ones like Barbie doll collections and even superhero figurines, and they can be hung up behind the door. All you have to do is mount wire baskets onto the wall for storing larger toys. This keeps them out of the way, but still quite accessible. And then make a storage box for the playroom where puzzles and coloring books and crayons and books can be kept out of the way and off of the floor. Your kids will love the new look in their room, especially since they can now see their room.
Exactly. Just like that, you can keep it clean, you can keep it uncluttered, and we love that, especially when it comes to... And hygienic.
Yes.
Those kids' playrooms, if you don't keep a firm hand on it, it can get messy.
Ooh, ciao.
But as you've seen, MAC makes cleaning very, very easy. And here's your chance to win a MAC hamper every week. So we want to say congratulations to Dee, who won the hamper last week. Congratulations, Dee. Yes. But remember, just like Dee, if you want to stand a chance of winning, SMS the keyword MAC to 33728. Those SMSs are charged at R1.50. No free SMSs apply. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. And also remember, this week's giveaway ends at midnight this Friday.
MAC dishwash liquid has a high foam formula that quickly and easily cuts through grease. So, switch to MAC, the best performing dishwash liquid in SA.
Shine on.
That's right, team. In studio, we're coming to you live right now in Hammanskraal at the St. Camilla's Primary School. It's the 700,000th South African school child who's being educated around hygiene and washing their hands as we celebrate today Global Hand Washing Day. Now, with me right here is Bruno Witfried, who is the president of Unilever South Africa, as well as from the Department of Basic Education, Mr. Vuyani Mpofu. Now, I'll start with you, Bruno. What you are doing here is an absolutely important thing. I mean, you know, we know that the young ones, they're the most vulnerable to diseases and all the different conditions that can be spread through not washing your hands. But what is the importance of hand washing in hygiene?
Well, it's absolutely crucial because we know that hand washing can prevent many diseases like cholera, for example, or the Ebola outbreak. So I think by a very simple gesture every day, before eating, before bathing and after going to the toilets, of course, it's very important that these very simple gestures can dramatically improve and prevent the increase of some diseases. And that's why Lifebuoy is very happy to partner today with the Ministry of Primary Education here in this school because, as you know, we've launched last year a national program.
Well, Mr. Vuyani Mpofu, what does a partnership like this with Unilever mean for the Department of Basic Education in your efforts to promote hygiene at this level with school children?
First of all, I must indicate that in terms of the basic education, we have to support the implementation of curriculum. One of the things what we have got to do is to ensure that our learners are healthy. We have got what we call school health program in our schools, and therefore the program that we have on washing of hands by learners is ensuring that hygiene it becomes the utmost issue. And when we talk about hygiene, is to ensure that our learners, as they wash their hands from time to time, before and after eating, germs that are flowing all over the place must be taken away before these learners can eat. In most of our schools, we have got what we call the National Schools Nutrition Program, where learners are being fed, and more especially those that are in quintile 1, 2, and 3 schools. And if they can't wash their hands before they eat, indeed, their health might not be in the proper hands. It's important that they wash their hands. As I say, it's not just about washing of their hands. It's context in the whole school's integrated school health program, which was launched around 2011. And therefore, it's important that from time to time we have got healthy kids so that they can be able to learn in a good environment and proper learning performance can be enhanced out of that.
Mr. Vidfoot, how is hand washing the most effective way of preventing diseases, especially with the children at this age?
I think this is the idea of talking to children at a very young age. This partnership with the government is regarding grade 1 at school, trying to reach around 700,000 kids every year. That's a long-term partnership that we are doing. And Lifebuoy, because of its nature, a soap that kills the germs, helps to drive good hygiene practices. And today you will see, I hope you will have the opportunity to film some kids teaching us how to properly wash our hands. Because even as adults, I must say, we tend to forget. And very important that you need to teach the good habits at a very young age. But at teenager, it's probably already too late. And that's why we've chosen grade 1. These schools, 1,153 kids today, are going to be taught how to properly wash their hands. And by the way, another very important element, because today is International Hand Washing Day, and that's why we're making that celebration. But it's also the hygiene of your teeth. Do you know that 50% of the kids are missing schools just because they have toothache? Now, by a proper hygiene of your teeth, whatever brand you can use, like Mentadone, for example, which is part of this National School Hygiene Program also, you can dramatically improve the health of the kids, but more so, make them come to school every day, which I think that's the target of any schooling program that you must have in any country.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Mpofu, a partnership like this is an important one to have because Bruno mentions that this prevents a lot of the absenteeisms that take place in school. But for the Department of Basic Education, what does it mean at a primary school level to have a partnership like this driving the hygiene conversation?
We always maintain that education is a societal issue. It's not only bound or confined in a school environment. We are saying for us to be able to advance education, we need partners. And partners like Unilever, Lifebuoy in particular, enhances this partnership. Remember, when you teach a kid good habits at a very early age, these kids are also our ambassadors. Because when they get home, they teach parents the very same habits that they've been taught. And therefore, as those are their ambassadors, they ensure also that the community takes these issues into very good consideration. Because we always say schools must be centers of excellence. That's right. And therefore, if you teach these kids at a very young age, it means that you are teaching the nation. It's just like teaching a woman. It's teaching a nation. These kids would always even reprimand their parents.
That's right. You are right. There is so much we can talk around that because there's a lot that the learning that takes place here that then goes to the households. But you know what? Something as simple as getting your hands washed and making sure that you keep clean hygiene and hand washing going is just as very important in making sure that we combat the many diseases and conditions that fly about in the schools. We're still hanging out with the Lifebuoy team here at St. Camilla's Primary School in Hammanskraal. Back to you in studio.
Or just outside a studio, but thank you so much, T, doing a brilliant job, and thank you to the Lifebuoy team spreading a little bit of that love. Speaking of spreading the love, you've been hitting us right in the feels with your songbook today, man. It's tough, man. I know there are a lot of lovers out there truly appreciating it. So we're going to continue with your musical education. Again, I thought it was a Dionne Warwick classic, but I hear it again. Comes from the Burt Bacharach Songbook Collection. It's been performed by some of the greatest, Tom Jones, Elvis Costello, and another we're going to add to that. You can start researching. We'll get one last performance from Jonathan Butler after the break.
Done.
This is your chance to win the home you've always dreamed of. Enter the Win a Home competition by voting for your favorite design duo on privateproperty.co.za and stand a chance of winning a fully decorated apartment at Paardenvlei Lifestyle Estate, developed by Baldwin Properties, worth over 3 million rand. Plus, you'll automatically be entered into the weekly draw, where this coming Thursday night, you could walk away with the new Samsung Galaxy Watch with phone capability via Bluetooth, fitness tracking, and interchangeable strap. And if that's not enough, Capitec clients stand a chance to win a further 5,000 rand in cash. Competition details plus T's and C's can be found on the private property website. Winner Home, every Thursday evening at 7:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Welcome.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, shopping has never been better than with a brand new loot.co.za app. And of course, winning has never been easier than with Expresso Show, your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And when you bring those two together, you get the Expresso Morning Show loot.co.za wheel. My goodness. Of course, it's so exciting. All you have to do to get involved is make sure that you download the loot.co.za app. Then once you've downloaded it, take a screen grab of it and send it to us at 071-640-6551 and you could win. You also have to register to the app, but once you do, this is what you stand in the running to win. Are you ready? Are you ready? You could win a Sennheiser headphones valued at 2,705 Rand. Also, DeLonghi toaster valued at 2,799 Rand. A generator valued at 1,500 Rand. How about this? A Nescafe Dolce Gusto coffee machine valued at 1,999 Rand. In the mix, we've also got a ceiling fan at 2,000 Rand. An Alva Kalahari gas barbecue valued at 5,999 Rand. Mind blown. A DeLonghi kettle valued at 1,404 Rand. And then finally, a Kenwood Pure Juice Pro valued at 5,599 Rand. Now, 3 viewers are going to get a call from us every single morning. Of course, once you've downloaded the app, once you've sent us the screen grab and registered, we'll be spinning the wheel for you and you could stand a chance to walk away with some tremendous prizes. So it's all up to you. If you want to be in the running to win, make sure you send that screen grab to 071-640-6551. This is the Expresso Morning Show and loot.co.za wheel.
Woo! All right, so as you can see, judging by the amount of conversation I'm sharing with this incredible man, I've had so much fun and gotten quite an education in the classics today. Loving your new songbook that pays homage to the man who helped you kickstart your career, Burt Bacharach.
Absolutely, he's responsible.
Just very quickly, I've got to ask, where can people see you perform while you're down here? How do we connect with you?
Well, I came for a vacation. I came for holidays. It was my birthday on the 10th. But I've been doing some stuff in the community. I played at a church in Montague yesterday. It was so beautiful to be there. I mean, the vibe was so great. So, but maybe next year I'll be home for real concerts. Yeah.
No pressure, man.
Yeah.
But I think that we need your voice down here, and the fact that you can be that voice in LA and in America as well.
Well, I mean, listen, I've been gone. I left home a long time ago, 35 years.
Wow.
But I proudly represent home. Nothing makes me more proud to just be out there and hear them say, from Cape Town, South Africa. You know, they always say, JB, what do you want them to say, introduce you? How do you want them to introduce you? I said, tell them I'm from South Africa. That's it.
I love
So this is home, man. Anytime.
So finally, you've got one more amazing performance.
Yeah.
What are you going to perform for us?
This song is called, it's so cool, I love the song, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. I think I did fall in love again. I'm engaged, so I'm excited. But this is one of my favorite songs, I'll Never Fall in Love Again.
Oh, and a new grandchild on the way
and
as well.
And another girl on the way, crazy.
Oh, man, well, thank you so much for giving us your time and just being so generous with your spirit as well. Ladies and gentlemen, for one final time, sadly, this morning, it's Jonathan Butler.
What do you get when you fall in love? A girl with a pin to bust your bubble. That's what you get for all your troubles. I'll never fall in love again. Whoa, I'll never fall in love again. Oh, yes. Oh. What do you get when you kiss a girl? You get enough germs to catch pneumonia. After you do, she'll never phone your eye. I'll never fall in love again. Oh, I'll never fall in love again. Don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I've been there and I'm glad I'm out of those chains that bind me. That is why I'm here to remind you. Whoa, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get life, pain and sorrow, for at least until tomorrow. I'll never fall in love again. Oh, I'll never fall in love. Baby, I'll never fall in love. Oh, I'll never fall in love again.
Butler, man.
In the house.
The sound smooth. It's just like you rightly said, hitting us all in the feels, man.
Absolutely love it. So, Mr. Butler, thank you so much for joining us and spending some time. He was actually on holiday and we dragged him in here, but the fact that he watches our show in LA every day sends out a message you should be watching every single day. But it's been a beautiful start to the week. Thank you so much.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. It was great. Thank you to the team at Lifeboy as well, to be so up from Joburg or in Pretoria. Great. Remember, wash your hands. Wash your hands. There they are. Oh, no.
And if you thought it was great having Jonathan in studio, we've got Louise Carver in studio tomorrow. That's going to be awesome as well. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. We
Just look at those cutie pies. We love you guys. Adios.
Yay.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.